we're going ahead with the liver transplant, right? You asked. Yes, the doctor replied, his tone grave. But you might not be aware of the risk. If we proceed, we can't save the baby she's carrying. Please, don't hurt our baby, Ella cried, her voice thick with panic. Don't touch me, you dirty thing. She spat at you, her eyes filled with disgust. Aren't you even aware of how that baby came about? If you hadn't taken advantage of me when I was drunk, would I have even married you? Sarah's my best friend, she continued, her voice rising in accusation. How could you do that to her? No, it wasn't like that. You protested, desperation creeping into your voice. Mr. Welch, please reconsider, another voice pleaded. It was the doctor again. We can postpone the surgery. There might be a better match. Once the baby's gone, there's no going back, Ella whispered, her voice laced with despair. I've made up my mind, you stated, your voice firm despite the turmoil within. I don't want to watch my Sarah suffer in pain, and it's better this baby is gone. Its entire existence is a mistake. So, she's the one you love most, Ella accused, her voice sharp with bitterness. You owe Sarah this. It's time to pay back. I owe her nothing, you retorted, anger flaring. If you hadn't gotten into my bed, would Sarah have left me? If it hadn't been for you, would she have liver failure? No more waiting, you commanded, your voice ringing with finality. Start the surgery now. I never wanted to get in your bed, Ella sobbed, her voice breaking. And I never hurt Sarah. Why don't you believe me? Daniel, she called out, desperation clinging to her voice. What do you want? Tell me. Why do you love Sarah so much? Because half a year ago, when I was in a car accident, she risked her own life to pull me out of the car, you explained, your voice softening slightly. Where were you then? What makes you worthy to be my wife? It wasn't like that, Ella insisted, her voice rising again. I'm not wasting my time on you, you dismissed her, turning away. I got you out of the car. Not Sarah, Ella screamed, her voice cracking with emotion. Mrs. Welch, we're starting now, the doctor announced, his voice calm and professional. You'd better lie still. Let me explain to him that I was the one who saved him, Ella pleaded, her voice laced with panic. Mrs. Welch, settle down, or you'll be hurt, a nurse warned sternly. You barked at the doctor. Per Mr. Welch's instruction, no anesthetic. You should be prepared. He wouldn't tell you that, Ella gasped, disbelief and horror mixing in her voice. Ha ha, you laughed cruelly. Lie still, or I'll miss, and something bad might happen. Ah! Ella screamed, the sound echoing through the sterile room. Isn't there an anesthetic? She cried out in agony. What's the screaming for? You mocked, your voice cold. Got rid of the little thing? It's done. 6 weeks in, a little human. Got half of her liver too. Not bad. You'll get the money soon, you said to the doctor, your tone businesslike. Thank you, Miss Smith. Turning back to Ella, you sneered. Ella Nash, you had it coming, stealing my man. How bad was the pain? Don't pass away, okay? I've got more coming for you. Later, you found Ella awake, her face pale and drawn. Are you awake? You asked, holding out a document. Sign this, then. Didn't you promise no divorce if I gave Sarah my liver? Ella asked weakly, her eyes filled with pain and betrayal. How else could I make you say yes? You sneered. A disgusting woman like you is not fit to be Mrs. Welch. No, it's not what you think, Ella cried, her voice strained. I never made Sarah leave you, and I never hurt her. It was me who got you out of that car. It was me. You what? You scoffed, disbelief etched on your face. Were you saying you saved Daniel? Suddenly, Sarah walked into the room, her expression concerned. Cindy, what are you doing here? Get some rest. Why bother coming here? I went looking for you, Sarah said gently. Don't worry, I'm here. She turned to you, her eyes filled with affection. Daniel, you're so good to me. Daniel, can you get me over there? Sarah requested, gesturing towards Ella. I want to talk to Ella. What's there to talk about? You asked, your voice laced with suspicion. Come on, Sarah insisted. No matter what, we are best friends, aren't we? Fine then, you conceded reluctantly. Sarah approached Ella's bedside. Ella, it was so kind of you to offer me your liver, Sarah began, her voice soft. But what a shame. You and Daniel's baby is gone. It's 6 weeks in. A tiny human. If it could come into the world... Shut up! Ella screamed, cutting Sarah off, her voice raw with anguish. Don't mention my baby! Ah! Ella cried out, clutching her side in pain. Hey! Sarah exclaimed, startled. Cindy, Sarah, are you okay? You asked, rushing to Sarah's side. Daniel, it hurts so bad, Sarah whimpered, clutching her chest. You witch! You roared at Ella, fury contorting your face. Sarah came here to thank you, and yet you tried to hurt her. I'm telling you, if anything happens to her, you'll pay a heavy price. You turned back to Ella, your eyes cold and threatening. Oh, right. If I don't have your signature, then your grandma who raised you, I can't guarantee her safety. No, don't hurt my grandma, Ella pleaded, tears streaming down her face. Daniel, how heartless can you be? Ah, Ella groaned, pain etched on her face. No, don't hurt my grandma. Suddenly, Sarah burst into laughter, the sound sharp and chilling in the sterile room. What are you doing? Ella asked, confusion and fear clouding her eyes. Waking you up? What else? Sarah mocked, her laughter echoing in the room. You, she spat at Ella. I what? Ella susurró. Su voz temblaba. Forgot to tell you, Sarah continued, her voice dripping with venom. I'm not sick at all, and I don't need your liver. It was all an act. But then Daniel was so worried. He thought I needed a transplant and took your liver for me. How did it feel to get sliced up? Sarah taunted, her eyes gleaming with malicious glee. What a shame about the baby. Heard it was a boy. Why did you do that? Ella susurró, su voz apenas audible. It was me who got him drunk, Sarah confessed, her voice cold and calculating. Why were you the one who ended up in his bed? What are you? Dare to take Daniel away from me? So it was you, Ella realized, the truth dawning on her. You still don't know, do you? Sarah sneered. You risked your life back then to carry Daniel out of the car. But then you fainted on the spot. I was the first person he saw. So, he's in love with me. Got it now? Ella's eyes widened with realization, a wave of despair washing over her. I gotta find him. I gotta tell him the truth, she cried, desperation seizing her. Sarah's laughter echoed again, cold and devoid of any warmth. You think he'll believe you? You think he'll believe you? She mocked, her voice dripping with scorn. Let go of me, Ella demanded, struggling against Sarah's grip. You haven't heard, have you? Sarah whispered, her voice laced with cruel satisfaction. Your grandma passed away of shock. Ha ha ha, Sarah cackled, her laughter ringing out in the room. What? Ella gasped, horror gripping her heart. What happened to my grandma? She passed away, Sarah repeated, relishing Ella's pain. You should have seen her face when told your baby was gone. She passed away on the spot. Ha 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 ha. Why? Ella lloró, su voz ahogada por el dolor. Why did you do all that? Why hurt the innocent? Why did you let my grandma vanish? Because of you, Sarah hissed, her voice filled with hatred. You won't divorce Daniel, taking up my space. This is what you deserve. Haven't you hurt me enough? Ella cried, her voice breaking. Ella, don't be so agitated, Sarah said, feigning concern, but her eyes betrayed her cruel satisfaction. I didn't mean to upset you. If my passing away can ease the pain, I'm willing to... You mad woman, Sarah exclaimed, her mask of false concern dropping completely. Ella, all you're getting now is entirely on you. What right do you have to blame it on an innocent? Innocent? Ella susurró, her voice hollow. You're innocent. She's innocent too. I'm the sinful one. I had it coming. My sin is falling in love with you. But my grandma, Ella sobbed, her voice breaking. What sin did she commit? She knew nothing. But should you destroy her? You walked towards Ella, your face impassive. Daniel, Ella pleaded, her eyes searching yours. Sign the paper. Then you can attend the funeral, you said coldly, holding out the divorce papers. Okay, Ella whispered, her voice devoid of emotion. I'll sign. What did you say? You asked, your voice sharp. Are you happy now? Ella asked, her eyes empty. Daniel, I'm feeling dizzy, Sarah suddenly complained, her voice weak. What's wrong? You asked, your attention instantly shifting to Sarah. Are you feeling sick again? You okay? I'm okay, Sarah reassured you, but her voice still sounded frail. You should run after Ella. She's still weak. What if anything happens to her? What can happen to her? You scoffed dismissively. I won't care if she passes away, Sarah. You're too soft-hearted. That's why she took it out on you. Ella, alone and heartbroken, whispered, Grandma, wait for me. I'm coming to see you. Meanwhile, at a grand estate in Westchester, a distinguished older man, Mr. Bolton, received a call. Sir, we found your granddaughter, his assistant announced, his voice excited. She's called Ella Nash now. She's in Thunder. What? Mister? Bolton exclaimed, his eyes widening in disbelief. You found her? Quick! Get the car. Let's go get her now. Yes, sir, the assistant replied, rushing to fulfill his command. Grandma, sorry, I'm late, Ella murmured, her voice fading. Suddenly chaos erupted around her. What's happening? Something on fire, Ella cried, her voice weak and panicked. Let me out! Help me! Let me out! Across town, Sarah spoke into her phone, her voice cold and satisfied. Hello, Ms. Smith, it's done. She won't survive this. Good job, Mrs. Smith replied, her voice equally cold. I'll transfer the money over. Go into hiding for a while. Sarah hung up and turned to you, a picture of innocent concern. Daniel, who were you calling? You asked, your brow furrowed. I'm worried about Ella, Sarah said, her voice laced with feigned anxiety. She hasn't been answering my calls. I wonder if something happened. Stop worrying about her. You dismissed her concern, your voice hardening. Take care of your own health. I promise to make you the most beautiful bride of all. Sarah smiled sweetly. Daniel, you're so good to me. Back in Westchester, Mr. Bolton arrived at the scene of the fire, his heart pounding with fear. Grandma, don't worry. I'm taking you with me, Ella whispered weakly, her voice lost in the roar of the flames. Oh no, Ella, Mr. Bolton cried, his voice filled with anguish. My granddaughter. What happened to you? Get the best doctor over, he commanded, his voice shaking with urgency. Yes, sir, his assistant responded, scrambling to obey. It took me years to find her. Over here. Mr. Bolton directed the rescue workers, his voice strained with desperation. I can't let anything happen to her. Get the defibrillator. The patient's heart stopped. She lost lots of blood, too. Get ready to stitch her up. Got it, a medic responded, his voice calm amidst the chaos. Sir, why don't you sit down? The assistant suggested gently. The doctor's the country's best. Miss Bolton will be fine. What do you know? Mr. Bolton snapped, his voice laced with fear and grief. It's my only granddaughter lying in there. She's been gone so long. It took me years to find her. I can't lose her again. Got it? I don't care how much it costs. I must get my granddaughter back. Hours later, the doctor emerged from the operating room, his face grim. Doctor, how's she doing? Mr. Bolton demanded, his voice trembling with anticipation. It's not looking too good, the doctor said, his voice somber. She was burned, had a miscarriage, and just got a liver transplant. Whether she can survive is really up to her will. What? Liver transplant? Mr. Bolton exclaimed, his voice filled with shock and disbelief. What happened? Didn't you know? If I'm not mistaken, the doctor continued, his voice low, it was done without anesthesia. She was operated on awake. It must have been a torment for her. Bastard! Mr. Bolton roared, his face contorted with rage. Gordon, find out who did that to Miss Bolton of Bolton Group. I want him to pay. Yes, sir, Gordon replied immediately, his voice firm and resolute. Days later, a nurse approached Mr. Bolton, a faint smile on her face. She's up, she announced softly. Mr. Bolton rushed to Ella's bedside, his heart leaping with hope. No, Ella gasped, her eyes fluttering open. Are you awake? Mr. Bolton asked, his voice choked with emotion. Doctor, my granddaughter woke up, he called out, relief washing over him. Miss Bolton, how do you feel? The doctor asked gently, approaching the bed. Daniel, Ella whispered, her voice weak but filled with determination. Sarah, by God's will, I survived. I'm taking my revenge. Months later, Ella, now known as Chloe Bolton, walked confidently into Welch Corporation. Morning, Miss Smith, the receptionist greeted Sarah. Her voice respectful. Is Daniel in his office? Yes, Sarah replied curtly. Her eyes narrowed as she watched Chloe walk past. Look at her. She's not quite Mrs. Welch yet. Since the late Mrs. Welch passed, she's the closest to Mr. Welch. We can't mess with her. Chloe entered your office, her presence radiating power and confidence. Sarah, why are you here? You asked, surprised. I miss you, Sarah purred, her voice seductive. Can't spend a minute without you. You're an adult, soon-to-be bride. What is it? The board's meeting soon, Sarah explained, her tone shifting to businesslike. And Miss Bolton's coming to join. Miss Bolton? You repeated, your brow furrowed in confusion. Got it, you said finally, dismissing Sarah. Get back to work. Sarah, I'm off to the meeting now. you announced, preparing to leave. Wait here for me. No, I want to go with you, Sarah protested, her voice petulant. It's a board meeting, you explained patiently. Outsiders can't join. Outsiders, Sarah exclaimed, her voice rising in indignation. We're getting married. How am I an outsider? If I'm not welcome here, I'm leaving now, Sarah threatened, her eyes flashing with anger. Fine, come with me, you conceded, sighing. But you must behave. No random talking, okay? Don't worry, Sarah assured you, her anger vanishing as quickly as it appeared. I'll just sit there next to you. I won't say a thing. You entered the boardroom, Sarah trailing behind you. Mr. Welch, this is... you began, gesturing towards Sarah. This is my fiancé. Hello, everyone, Sarah chirped, flashing a bright, artificial smile. Mr. Welch, it's a board meeting, one of the board members objected, his voice disapproving. Your fiancé doesn't quite belong. After our wedding, you announced, your voice firm. She'll have 10% of my stocks. Any problem? No, the board member conceded reluctantly. Sit down, then. Isn't Miss Bolton here? Another board member asked, looking around the room. Miss Bolton's arrived, the receptionist announced, ushering Chloe into the room. Chloe entered, her presence commanding attention. Hi, everyone. I'm Chloe Bolton, she announced, her voice clear and confident. Sarah gasped, her eyes widening in disbelief. Ella, you're not dead, she whispered, her voice trembling. Chloe turned to Sarah, her eyes cold and devoid of recognition. Miss, are you talking to me? She asked, her voice sharp and dismissive. What are you playing at? You've divorced Daniel, Sarah continued, her voice rising hysterically. And yet you're showing up at his company to make a scene. Stay away from Miss Bolton, you warned Sarah sternly, stepping between them. Miss Bolton, Sarah repeated, confusion clouding her eyes. Ha, what Miss Bolton? She's an orphan who sneaked into a man's bed to get married. She got her grandma passed away too. Chloe's hand moved with lightning speed, and a sharp slap echoed through the boardroom. Sarah recoiled, her hand flying to her stinging cheek. Shut up, Chloe snapped, her voice like ice. You hit me, Sarah cried, her voice filled with outrage. Ella, what are you doing? You asked, your voice filled with confusion and disbelief. You must have got it wrong, Chloe replied, her voice calm and controlled. I'm Chloe, not some Ella you know. As for why I slapped her, she was shouting in my face. Did she not deserve that? No, you're Ella, Sarah insisted, her voice shrill. You look just like that woman. Don't think some new clothes and makeup can fool me. How dare you? Chloe retorted, her voice laced with fury. What kind of attitude is this? She turned to you, her eyes locking with yours. You're not Ella for sure? You must be Mr. Welch. I'm not sure why you mistook me for someone else, but I'm very displeased with that. Did you get it? She looks just like Ella, a board member whispered to another. But Ella never talked to me this way. Neither was she this tough. Besides, Ella's dead. So she's really not Ella. Miss Bolton, sorry about that. You apologized, your voice laced with uncertainty. We took you for the wrong person. My apologies. Daniel, Sarah began, her voice trembling. But you cut her off. Let's talk about it later. Mr. Welch, Chloe said, turning back to you, her voice sharp and businesslike. If I'm not mistaken, this lady here is not a board member, is she? She's my fiancée, you replied, your voice regaining its firmness. Soon, she'll have 10% of my stocks. She's just sitting in today. She won't affect our meeting. What a joke, Chloe scoffed, her voice dripping with sarcasm. I get that she's soon your wife, but this is a workplace, not your house. If anyone can sit in, why aren't we meeting in a market? Daniel said he was giving me 10% of his stocks, Sarah interjected, her voice indignant. And I'll be a board member too. Why can't I sit in? Then come back when you have that 10%, Chloe retorted dismissively. At least for now, you don't belong here. Get out. You! Sarah shrieked, pointing a trembling finger at Chloe. This is Daniel's company. Who are you to order me around? Oh, is that so? Chloe sneered, her eyes flashing with contempt. Without $4 million each year from Bolton Group, could your fiancé's company have gotten this big? Would you be a rich man's fiancé? Oh, and I hold 35% of stocks. If your fiancé gives you 10% of his, I'll be the biggest shareholder. Then I'll be the chairwoman here. Mr. Welch, am I right? Sarah, wait outside, you instructed, your voice firm. You're chasing me out too, Sarah cried, her voice laced with betrayal. You're not a board member yet, you reiterated, your voice cold. Wait outside for me. Just wait and see, Sarah muttered under her breath, storming out of the room. Chloe turned back to you, a hint of amusement playing on her lips. It's the same face, but totally different traits, she observed, her eyes locking with yours. She's really not Ella. Why are you staring at me? Chloe asked, breaking the silence, a playful smirk gracing her lips. Something on my face? Or am I that attractive? Just your type? Sarah, seething with jealousy, watched Chloe and you from outside the boardroom. What should I do? She muttered to herself, her mind racing. Ella's back. She's back to take Daniel from me. No, I can't let her. I made you disappear once. I can do that again. Later that day, Chloe was back in her penthouse, her assistant, Ada, attending to her. Miss Bolton, time for your meds, Ada reminded her gently. That's it for today. Chloe dismissed the board members, her voice weary. I've business to take care of. Wait, Miss Bolton, Sarah called out, stopping Chloe as she was about to leave. Something else? Chloe asked, her voice cool and detached. I feel like we're friends already, Sarah said, forcing a smile. Can we meet up for lunch or dinner sometime? Sure, Chloe replied, her voice non-committal. But I'm very busy, so you may have to wait. As Sarah left, Chloe turned to Ada, her eyes narrowed with suspicion. Chloe or Ella, she murmured, her voice low and determined. I'll find out who you really are. Later that evening, Sarah confided in Miss Smith. Did you see that woman? She asked, her voice filled with agitation. Is Mrs. Welch back? How's that possible? She passed away 3 months ago. That was Miss Bolton. See how intimidating she looked. Mrs. Welch was so gentle. It can't be her. Are there people who look that much alike? Miss Smith handed Sarah her medication. Huh? Give me my meds. Miss Bolton, you lost half of your liver and are still recovering. We can take care of Daniel and Sarah. You don't understand, Chloe insisted, her voice strained. I must do this myself. They treated me so cruelly. Disappearing them is too easy on them. I want them to fall from heaven to burning hell. The 2 lives they took from me. They're gonna pay for that. Are you okay? Ada asked, her voice concerned. The doctor said you can't be agitated. I'm fine, Chloe insisted, forcing a smile. I must see their downfall before I pass away. How good of an actress was I? Chloe asked Ada, a glint of triumph in her eyes. You were perfect, Ada confirmed, nodding approvingly. I'm sure no one can figure out you are Ella. That's good, Chloe murmured, a satisfied smile playing on her lips. Oh, I'm allergic to mango juice, she suddenly remembered, her expression changing to one of slight discomfort. Get me some meds for that. Got it, Ada replied, quickly moving to retrieve the medication. Back at your penthouse, Sarah was trying to seduce you. Daniel, you're back, she purred, her voice laced with desire. Why are you dressed like this? Have you forgotten? You asked, your voice flat. Today's our anniversary. I'll sleep in your room tonight, Sarah announced boldly, her eyes gleaming with anticipation. Sarah, didn't we agree to wait till after the wedding? You reminded her, your voice weary. Daniel, we're getting married soon, Sarah reasoned, her voice persuasive. It's okay to speed things up a bit. I'll stay with you tonight. Sarah, I'm a bit tired, you confessed, your mind still preoccupied with Chloe. Are you thinking about Ella? Sarah asked, her voice suddenly sharp with jealousy. What's that nonsense? You dismissed her concern, but Sarah persisted. Ella's dead. Then that woman this morning, you fell for her? Why else did you ask me to leave just because she said so? Sarah, you exclaimed, exasperated. Daniel, I was just afraid, Sarah confessed, her voice softening, afraid that Ella would come back and take you from me. I can't lose you one more time. How can that happen? You reassured her, pulling her close. I care you the most in my heart. I've been busy for the wedding. Didn't I promise to make you the happiest bride in the world? So we should wait till the night of our happiest day, shouldn't we? Sarah smiled, her jealousy momentarily appeased. Honey, smell this flower, you offered, presenting her with a withered orchid. Sarah recoiled, disgust contorting her face. Stay away from me. Didn't you say you couldn't sleep? Orchid scent can ease you to sleep, you explained, trying to appease her. Stop trying to please me, Sarah snapped, pushing the flower away. You'll just make me hate you more. A pot of withered orchid? You muttered to yourself, confused by her reaction. How did the maid miss this? I'll throw it away. Wait, Sarah said, stopping you. The scent helps with sleep. I'll put it in my room, but they're all withered, you pointed out, puzzled. I'll get them back to health, Sarah replied, her eyes gleaming with a strange determination. Help with sleep, you murmured, still confused. It must be that Ella stuff. Her ghost still hangs around. Later that night, Sarah received a call, her eyes widening in shock as she listened to the voice on the other end. Hello? Who's this? She asked, her voice trembling slightly. Oh, too busy getting rich. Forgotten your husband, have you? A gruff voice replied. Boris, you're back. Sarah gasped, her voice filled with fear and apprehension. Tomorrow noon, Mountain View, Boris commanded, his voice cold and threatening. Fail to show, you know the consequence. Sarah hung up, her face pale and drawn. I won't let anyone stop me from becoming Mrs. Welch, she muttered to herself, her eyes filled with desperation. The next day, Sarah's assistant, Miss Smith, informed Chloe. Miss Bolton, I saw Sarah sneaking into a room. Chloe, suspecting something, followed Sarah. She found Sarah in a compromising position with Boris. "You're here at last," Boris greeted Sarah, his voice rough and possessive. "I've missed you, honey." "Let go of me," Sarah hissed, struggling against his embrace. "What?" Boris asked, feigning hurt. "You got a new man and married into money. Did you forget your own husband?" "What are you talking about?" Sarah retorted, her voice laced with anger and fear. "Playing stranger with me. Don't forget. We got married in Starfall. That's the past tense," Sarah snapped. "It's not Starfall here. None of that counts, got it?" "Honey, wanna get rid of me?" Boris taunted, his eyes gleaming with malice. "Do you think if I tell Daniel about all that stuff you did back then, he will still want you?" "You dare," Sarah hissed, her voice trembling with rage. "If you mess with my business, I'll make you regret it." "You're my wife," Boris reminded her, his voice laced with sarcasm. "Why would I ever do that? Right? What do you want?" Sarah demanded, her voice strained. "What do I want?" Boris repeated, a predatory gleam in his eyes. "Simple. You've been living a nice life here. As your husband, I should have a share too." "How much do you want?" Sarah asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "How much is the title Mrs. Welch worth?" Boris mused, stroking his chin thoughtfully. $1 million sounds right." "You crazy?" Sarah exclaimed, her eyes widening in disbelief. "Where would I get that?" "No money," Boris sneered, his eyes hardening. "Then I'll have a chat with Daniel. I wonder if he'll pay on your behalf." "Honey, I was just kidding," Sarah quickly backtracked, her voice suddenly sweet and conciliatory. "I don't have that much money now. But Daniel promised he'd give me 10% of the stocks after the wedding. $1 million in cash and 10% of stocks, which sounds like a better deal," Boris suggested, his eyes gleaming with avarice. "Is it true Daniel is giving you 10% shares?" "Of course it's true," Sarah confirmed, her voice eager. "But what if you get the shares and then turn your back on me?" Boris asked, his eyes narrowed with suspicion. "Then I'd get nothing. Am I that kind of person?" Sarah protested, feigning offense. Boris grunted, still unconvinced. "Yes." "Boris? Don't forget we're already married," Sarah reminded him, her voice pleading. "The money I make now counts as marital assets. Do you think I wanted to marry him? I'm doing this for our future." "Is that really true?" Boris asked, his eyes searching hers. "Of course it is," Sarah insisted, her voice filled with false sincerity. "I'm sincere with you. Why else would I marry you? Once we get the shares, we'll return to Starfall, okay?" "Okay," Boris agreed, his suspicion momentarily allayed. "I knew you still loved me." He reached out to embrace her, his touch possessive. "Hey, what are you doing?" Sarah protested, pulling away slightly. "Don't you want to? I mean, it's the middle of the day. There might be people next door." "I don't care anymore," Boris said, his voice thick with lust. "I haven't touched you in months. I'm going crazy here. Come on, baby." "Ah, easy," Sarah moaned, as Boris's advances became more aggressive. Outside the room, Chloe watched the scene unfold, a cold smile playing on her lips. "Did you record everything?" she asked Miss Smith, who was standing beside her. "Don't worry, it's all recorded," Miss Smith confirmed, nodding. "Sarah, I didn't expect such a big surprise from you," Chloe murmured, her voice filled with mock amusement. "I can't wait to see Daniel's face when he finds out." Disgusting, she added, her voice laced with contempt. In broad daylight, doing that in public. Someone as shameless as Sarah would do anything. Let's go. I have to meet Daniel for lunch. Later, at a fancy restaurant overlooking Central Park, Chloe arrived for her lunch meeting with you. Yes. Sorry, Mr. Welch, I'm late, she apologized, her voice smooth and charming. I ran into something interesting on my way. Oh, what's so interesting? You asked, intrigued. Your fiancé, Chloe replied, her eyes gleaming mischievously. With another man, cheating in your private room. You wouldn't want to know. All right, you said, trying to remain composed, despite the shock that rippled through you. Miss Bolton, have a seat. Is he still testing me? Chloe thought to herself, observing your carefully neutral expression. He doesn't remember what I like, but he surely remembers what I hate. I have no idea what Miss Bolton likes, you began, your voice carefully polite. So I just ordered some random things. I hope it suits your taste. Chloe's eyes widened slightly as she looked at the dishes laid out before her. How did you know I love foie gras? She asked, her voice genuinely surprised. It's perfect. It melts in my mouth. Mr. Welch has good taste. She hates foie gras the most, you thought to yourself, a flicker of confusion crossing your mind. But she's eating it with joy. This durian meal crepe is a specialty here, you suggested, gesturing towards another dish. You can have a try. Chloe took a bite, her eyes widening again. Sure, strong durian flavor. It's delicious. Sorry, Mr. Welch, Chloe said, her voice apologetic. My grandfather was strict with me. He didn't let me eat much. So now when I see something I like, I get a bit carried away. I hope you don't mind. Not at all, you reassured her, though your confusion continued to grow. You have such a strict upbringing, yet I've never seen you at Welch Corporation all these years. Don't you know my grandpa well? Chloe asked, her eyes searching yours. He left me alone abroad since I was a kid and said it was for training. He wouldn't even let me go home if I hadn't turned 22. 22 years old, 2 years younger than Ella, you noted mentally, your suspicion starting to solidify. Is he still doubting me? Chloe wondered, noticing your thoughtful expression. It's a good thing I took my allergy meds earlier. Don't drink that, you suddenly said, your voice sharp, pointing at a glass of juice. Why not? Chloe asked, startled. It's mango juice, you explained, your eyes fixed on her. Some people are allergic to it. Just a reminder. I'm not allergic to mangoes, Chloe replied, her voice calm and even. Why are you so nervous? She asked, her eyes narrowing. Is someone around you allergic to mangoes? No, you said, your voice clipped. Hypocrite, you thought to yourself, your suspicion now almost certain. Ella gets a rash, all over from just one bite of mango. She can fake her personality, but her body doesn't lie. She's really not Ella. Mr. Welch has asked me so much, Chloe said, changing the subject, her voice becoming more serious. I want to ask you something. What is it? You prompted, your eyes still scrutinizing her every move. Yesterday, you and your fiancé saw me, Chloe began, her voice carefully controlled. Why did you react so strongly? Do I look like someone you know? Yeah, you admitted, your voice low. You look exactly like my ex-wife. Really? Chloe asked, her eyes widening slightly. Have you got a picture? Let me see it. No, you said, your voice hardening. Isn't she your ex-wife? How come do you not have a picture? Maybe you two weren't that close. Oops, my bad, Chloe said, feigning embarrassment. If you were close, you wouldn't have divorced, huh? No, you corrected her, your voice filled with bitterness. My ex-wife passed away 3 months ago. That's really unfortunate, Chloe said, her voice softening with feigned sympathy. I would have loved to meet someone who looks just like me. So tell me, what was she like? You hesitated for a moment, then began to speak, your voice filled with resentment. She was nothing like you. You're outgoing and warm. But her? She was always crying, acting like the world owed her. She played the victim, but inside, she was evil. What's wrong? Chloe asked, noticing the sudden change in your demeanor. You look upset. It's nothing, you said, waving away her concern. I'm just curious. How could you marry a woman like that? Chloe pressed, her eyes searching yours. It's a long story, you sighed, the memories flooding back. She got me drunk and had sex with me to marry me, then drove away her best friend, who was also my girlfriend, Sarah. Poor Sarah was stuck abroad, suffering alone. But now things are back to normal. She got what she deserved. Yes, Chloe murmured, her voice low and dangerous. Got what she deserved. Daniel, you and Sarah will get yours too, she thought to herself, her eyes hardening. Your fiancé was forced to leave you back then, Chloe continued, her voice casual, but her eyes sharp and probing. I heard it was to pay for her mother's treatment. Is her mum better now? I don't really know, you admitted, your brow furrowed. You two are getting married, Chloe pointed out, her voice laced with subtle accusation. Better check on her mother's health, don't you think? You're right, you conceded, a flicker of guilt crossing your face. I should visit. Well then, Chloe said, rising from her chair, her voice brisk and businesslike. I wish you and your fiancé all the best. Sarah, let's see where you'll find a sick mum, Chloe thought to herself, a cold smile playing on her lips. I'm full, Chloe announced, breaking the silence. Let's go. I can almost confirm Chloe isn't Ella, you thought to yourself, watching her walk away. Mission accomplished. Back at Welch Corporation, your assistant approached you, his voice hesitant. Mr. Welch, isn't that your fiancé? He asked, pointing towards the street outside. You looked out the window and saw Sarah walking hand in hand with Boris. Sarah, you whispered, your heart sinking. Sarah entered your office a few minutes later, a bright artificial smile plastered on her face. Daniel, why are you here? She asked, feigning surprise. What are you doing here? Mr. Welch, Chloe said, walking past Sarah, her voice cool and detached. I enjoyed this lunch. See you next time. Ella? Sarah asked, her voice trembling as Chloe walked away. You had lunch alone with her. What did she say? Sarah pressed, her eyes wide with fear and jealousy. She is not Ella, you stated firmly, your voice devoid of emotion. She is Chloe. No way, Sarah protested, her voice rising hysterically. That look she gave me definitely shows that she is Ella. I tested her, you explained, your voice calm and rational. She's not allergic to mango juice. Her taste is entirely different. The body doesn't lie. Sarah, don't be too sensitive, you said, trying to reassure her. I'm just afraid she'll take you. Sarah confessed, her voice laced with insecurity. How could that happen? You scoffed, dismissing her fears. You're the only one I love. But the way Chloe looked at me, Sarah persisted, her voice trembling. I'm sure she likes you. Daniel, Sarah pleaded, her eyes searching yours. Let's move up our wedding. I can't wait to marry you. The date is set, you replied, your voice firm. It won't change. Just wait a bit longer. It'll come soon. All right then, Sarah conceded reluctantly, her eyes still filled with unease. Boris, watching you and Sarah from a distance, muttered to himself, Damn it, you're holding my woman tight. Once I get enough money, I'll make you disappear. Back in your office, Sarah suddenly complained. Daniel, I'm feeling a bit tired. Let's head back, okay? What's that on your neck? You asked, noticing a faint red mark. Oh, it's nothing, Sarah quickly replied, her hand flying to her neck to cover the mark. Daniel, I might have a little bit allergy. I'll put on some cream later. Oh, by the way, Sarah added, changing the subject abruptly. How's your mum doing? My mum? You repeated, confused. Yeah, Sarah pressed, her eyes fixed on yours. Didn't you say she was really sick and getting treatment abroad? Is she better now? Much better, you replied, still slightly puzzled. Good, Sarah said, her smile widening. We should bring her back. We're getting married soon. It's time for our parents to meet and talk. What? Meet? You stammered, taken aback by her suggestion. What's wrong? Sarah asked, her voice suddenly sharp with suspicion. Don't you want them to meet? That's not what I meant, you quickly clarified, trying to cover your surprise. It's just that it feels a bit sudden. I haven't really told my parents about this yet. Then this is the perfect chance to introduce me to them, Sarah said, her voice bright and cheerful. You can't marry me without your parents' blessing, right? Or are you worried they won't like me? No, of course not, you protested, trying to sound convincing. Great. So it's settled, Sarah declared, her voice filled with satisfaction. Bring your parents over for dinner this weekend. They can meet my mum and have an excellent talk. I'll make sure they feel good about you being with me. What should I do? Sarah panicked, her mind racing. Daniel wants to meet my parents. Where can I find a couple? All right, you said, agreeing to her plan, though still feeling slightly uneasy. It's a deal then. Let's go home. Oh, I just remembered I made plans to shop with a friend today, Sarah suddenly announced, her eyes widening as if struck by a sudden thought. You head home first. I need to call my parents and buy their plane tickets. Send me your parents' information, you offered, wanting to help. I'll book the tickets. No, it's okay, Sarah quickly declined, waving away your offer. I'll handle it. I'm an adult. I can buy my own parents' tickets. All right, you said, shrugging slightly. I'll head back to work. Call me if you need anything, and use the card I gave you if you see something you like. Once you were gone, Sarah met up with Boris. What did you mean just now? Boris asked, his voice rough and demanding. Is Daniel really that great? Are you that eager to jump into his arms? Stop being ridiculous, Sarah snapped, her voice sharp. Didn't you hear? Daniel wants to meet my parents. What should I do now? That's easy, Boris said, a sly grin spreading across his face. No parents? Just hire some. Hire? Sarah repeated, her brow furrowed in confusion. Yeah, Boris confirmed, nodding enthusiastically. Hire a couple. You can get any kind you want. They'll just meet and leave. Fool Daniel's family for now. That's a good idea, Sarah exclaimed, her face lighting up with relief. Leave it to me, Boris said, puffing out his chest proudly. Tomorrow, I'll bring your parents. Make sure they're good actors. They can't slip up. What about the cost? Sarah asked, her voice hesitant. Boris reached into his pocket and pulled out a wad of cash. Here is $15,000, he said, handing the money to Sarah. Use the rest however you like. Oh, my wife really cares for me, Boris teased, pulling Sarah into a tight embrace. Hey, Sarah protested, pushing him away slightly. We're in public. Be careful. If someone sees us, it's over. All right, I'm leaving, Boris said, releasing her. Let's go. Tomorrow's going to be fun, Sarah said to herself, a mischievous smile playing on her lips. Back at Chloe's penthouse, Ada noticed Chloe coughing again. All right, Miss Bolton, Ada said, her voice concerned. You just took medicine. Why are you coughing again? It's nothing. Chloe dismissed her concern, waving her hand dismissively. I ate something gross, and my throat couldn't take it. Thanks, she added, taking a sip of water. It's nothing, just what I should do, Ada replied dutifully. The next day, you offered to pick up Sarah's parents from the airport. What? Are you picking up my parents? Sarah asked, feigning surprise. Of course, you replied, your voice warm and sincere. Your mom is coming. I'll go pick her up myself. It's a sign of respect. No need, Sarah insisted, her voice strained. I can handle it. How is that a small matter? You asked, puzzled by her resistance. It's my duty. That's the only way they'll feel comfortable entrusting you to me. But, Sarah stammered, her mind racing. Enough! You cut her off, your voice firm but gentle. Aren't they on an early flight? Time is running out. We need to hurry, or we'll be late. What do I do? Sarah thought frantically, her panic rising. They're not even at the airport. I need to contact Boris. In the car, Sarah fidgeted nervously. Sarah, are you okay? You asked, noticing her unease. You don't look well. Oh, I might just be nervous, Sarah replied, forcing a smile. Don't worry, you reassured her, reaching out to take her hand. I'll make sure your parents trust me with you, okay? Okay, Sarah whispered, her voice barely audible. I trust you. What shall I do? What shall I do? Sarah repeated to herself, her anxiety mounting. Oh, right. Should we bring gifts for your parents? You asked, suddenly remembering. No need, Sarah quickly replied, her voice too high-pitched. Oh, I mean, we'll be family soon, so there's no need for that. Daniel, my stomach feels a little upset, Sarah suddenly complained, her voice weak. Can you find a place so I can use the restroom? What's wrong? You asked, concern etched on your face. Did you catch a cold? I might be on my period, Sarah mumbled, her voice embarrassed. I just need to go to the bathroom. Okay, you said, nodding understandingly. I'll have the driver pull over. Stop, you instructed the driver. Do you want me to go with you? You offered, wanting to be helpful. No, it's okay. I'll be quick, Sarah reassured you, forcing a smile. Just wait in the car. As soon as Sarah was out of sight, she frantically called Boris. Hey, Sarah, Boris answered, his voice cheerful. "Where are you now?" "Don't worry, everything is set," Boris reassured her. "I'm about to pick them up." "Plans changed," Sarah hissed, her voice urgent. "Daniel insists on picking up my parents at the airport. Take them to the airport now." "What?" Boris exclaimed, his voice laced with disbelief. "To the airport now." Fine, fine," Boris grumbled reluctantly. "But after all I've done, how will you thank me? I want a unique gift that only you can give me." "Cut the nonsense," Sarah snapped, her patience wearing thin. "Hurry up, and we're already on the way. If you keep yapping, we'll be late." "I got it," Boris said, his tone softening. "You're no fun. Remember, everything has to go perfectly today. It's not just for me. It's for us. It is all for our future together." "I like that," Sarah purred, her voice seductive again. "Kiss, kiss," she added, blowing him a kiss over the phone. Sarah hung up, her face still etched with anxiety. "Once this is over, I need to get rid of Boris," she muttered to herself, her eyes hardening. "And he's a ticking time bomb." Sarah returned to the car, forcing a smile as she got back in. "Sorry, Daniel, I didn't mean to keep you waiting," she apologized, her voice breathy. "Is your stomach better now?" you asked, your concern evident in your voice. "I'm okay now," Sarah replied, her voice a little strained. "I just talked to them. My parents just landed, and they are still in customs. We've got time." "Good," you said, relieved. "Let's head over." At your mansion, your mother, Layla, was anxiously awaiting the arrival of Sarah's parents. "Sarah, your parents aren't here yet?" Layla asked, her voice impatient. "They should be here soon," Sarah replied, trying to sound confident, though her heart was pounding with dread. "I've never even met the actors Boris hired," Sarah thought frantically. What if they slip up? Boris arrived with the hired actors, John and Rachel, who looked convincingly like a respectable middle-aged couple. "Remember, don't make any mistakes," Sarah hissed at them, her voice urgent. "You won't get paid otherwise." "Relax, we're professionals," John reassured her, winking confidently. "All right, it's time," Sarah announced, taking a deep breath. "You can go out." Sarah walked out to greet you and the actors, a nervous smile plastered on her face. "Sarah," you announced, your voice warm and welcoming. "My parents are here." "Mum and Dad," Sarah exclaimed, rushing forward to hug the actors. "I missed you so much." "Sarah, you've lost weight, haven't you?" Rachel, the actress playing her mother, said, her voice perfectly mimicking a concerned parent. "Nonsense," John, the actor playing her father, interjected, his voice jovial. "Sarah has always been beautiful." "John, Rachel, I'm Danielle," you introduced yourself, shaking hands with the actors. "Daniel!" John exclaimed, his voice enthusiastic. "Nice to meet you. Sarah talks about you all the time and praises you so much." "Dad!" Sarah giggled, feigning embarrassment. "Look how shy Sarah is," Rachel chimed in, her voice warm and motherly. "Mom, Dad's teasing me again. Ha ha ha," Sarah laughed, playing along perfectly. "I wasn't well abroad," Sarah explained, her voice lowering slightly. "Sarah came to help for 6 months." "It didn't affect your relationship?" John asked, his eyes searching yours. "Of course not," you replied firmly, your voice filled with conviction. "Sarah's the love of my life." "Good, good," Rachel said, nodding approvingly. "We can rest easy now." "John, Rachel, it's getting late," Layla interjected, her voice impatient. Let's continue at home. Yes, yes, John agreed, readily. Mom and Dad, Daniel's mom is waiting for us, Sarah added, guiding the actors towards the house. Oh, Layla is waiting, Rachel exclaimed, her voice filled with anticipation. We can't keep her waiting. Let's go, let's go. As they entered your mansion, Boris, who had been waiting inside, greeted them with a wide smile. Boris told you everything about me, right? Sarah whispered to the actors, her voice urgent. Relax, we're professional actors, John reassured her again, winking. Good, Sarah muttered, relieved. Please come in. Layla welcomed them, her voice polite but cool. Danielle's, your villa is enormous, John commented, his voice filled with admiration as he looked around the lavish interior. Let's go, Layla urged, leading them towards the dining room. Hey, Layla called out to Chloe, who was sitting in the living room. You're back, come in. Daisy, we're about to start. Chloe rose and joined them, her presence radiating an unexpected aura of authority. Ella? Sarah gasped, her eyes widening in shock and recognition. Why are you here? Mom, you said, your voice filled with confusion. Didn't I tell you I'm bringing Sarah's parents today? Why is she here? Funny story, Layla explained, her voice casual, but with a hint of something else. Something Sarah couldn't quite place. Chloe is the daughter of one of my best friends. My friend passed away early, leaving her behind. I feel bad for her. She just came to see me today. We started chatting, and I lost track of time. Layla, maybe I should leave, Chloe offered politely, her eyes fixed on Sarah. No way, Layla insisted, her voice firm. Stay for lunch at least. Please listen to me. She turned to the actors, her voice appealing. John, Rachel, you don't mind if she joins, right? Sarah. Sarah, her mind racing, forced a weak smile. Of course not, she said, her voice strained. Mum, it is a family meeting, Sarah protested, her voice laced with desperation. Isn't it inappropriate to bring a stranger? What stranger? Layla retorted, her voice sharp. Chloe is like my daughter now. Thanks for inviting me then, Chloe said, her eyes still fixed on Sarah, a subtle challenge in her gaze. Let's sit in the dining room and talk over lunch. As they moved towards the dining room, you pulled Sarah aside, your voice low and urgent. Daniel, Sarah hissed, her voice filled with panic. Sarah, I know you're upset, you said, trying to placate her. But we can't embarrass my mom. You understand, right? I get it, Sarah replied, forcing a smile, but her eyes betrayed her fear and unease. In the dining room, Chloe engaged John in conversation, her tone friendly and inquisitive. This is Mr. Smith, right? Chloe asked, extending her hand to John. Ah, yes, John replied, shaking her hand firmly. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, Chloe responded, her eyes gleaming with amusement. I'm Mrs. Smith, Sarah's mum, Rachel introduced herself, her voice warm and welcoming. I'm Daniel's mum, Layla replied, her voice polite but still slightly distant. This is Chloe, my friend's daughter. Hello, Mr. Smith and Mrs. Smith, Chloe greeted the actors, her voice charming and engaging. Hello, hello, John and Rachel responded in unison, their smiles wide and friendly. So, Sarah really hired fakes? Chloe thought to herself, her amusement growing. I wonder how long they can keep this up. I heard you've been doing business in Cyprus, Chloe continued, turning back to John, her voice casual. That's quite a coincidence. I grew up in Cyprus. We'll have plenty to talk about, Chloe added, her eyes twinkling mischievously. My parents are always busy, Sarah interjected, trying to steer the conversation away from her fake parents. If you ask them about young people's stuff, they might not know much. Yes, John agreed readily, nodding in agreement. Oh, I actually have some business questions for Mr. Smith, Chloe said, ignoring Sarah's attempt to change the subject. You know, since I came back, my grandpa's been making me run the company. I'm clueless about lots of stuff. Mr. Smith, what kind of trade are you involved in Cyprus? Maybe we could work together. Yeah, Layla chimed in, her voice enthusiastic. Bolton Group is one of the best. If you could partner with them, your family's business would really take off. My dad just does small business, Sarah quickly interjected, her voice strained. There's no comparison to Bolton Group. Yeah, it's really nothing, John echoed, playing along with Sarah's charade. Mr. Smith, you're too humble, Chloe said, her voice laced with sarcasm, though the actors seemed to miss it. This damn Chloe, Sarah thought furiously, her anxiety escalating. Is she here just to annoy me? Today's lunch is supposed to be about Daniel and me and our wedding. How about you discuss business with my dad after lunch? I'm so sorry for interrupting, Chloe apologized, feigning embarrassment. I grew up without my parents, so seeing Miss Smith's happy family makes me jealous. Oh, poor child, Rachel cooed, her voice filled with false sympathy. We didn't know what you'd like, so we had the servant make some home-cooked dishes. You've been abroad so long. You probably miss authentic home-cooked food, right? Ms. Smith? Chloe prompted, turning to Rachel, her eyes sharp and probing. Sarah, you're so lucky to have such a kind mother-in-law and a great husband. Rachel gushed, oblivious to the underlying tension. Miss Smith, Chloe continued, her voice deceptively sweet. You don't seem that close to your parents. Why does your dad call you Miss Smith? Sarah froze, her heart pounding in her chest, the carefully constructed facade beginning to crumble. Oh, that's just how we are, Sarah stammered, her voice trembling slightly. We're more like friends. At home, I even call him Mr. Smith. Right, Mr. Smith? Yes, John stammered, his eyes widening in panic, realizing he was about to be exposed. In foreign countries, it's familiar to their parents by name. Isn't that right, Uncle? Yes, John repeated, his voice strained and unconvincing. Maybe Miss Bolton didn't have her parents growing up, so she doesn't understand this kind of bond, Rachel added, trying to smooth over the awkward moment. Well, I could just hire some people to act as my parents to experience this family bond, Chloe said, her voice dripping with sarcasm, her eyes fixed on Sarah. What's she implying? Sarah thought, her panic rising. Has she figured something out? Chloe, what are you saying? Layla asked, her voice sharp. You can't just hire parents. Yeah, Rachel agreed, her voice strained. Parents aren't something you hire. Sarah, what's wrong? You asked, noticing her distress. I'm fine, Sarah insisted, forcing a smile. But her eyes betrayed her fear and desperation. I know you don't like Chloe, Sarah whispered to you, her voice pleading. I promise I won't let her come over anymore, okay? Really? You asked, your voice softening. Daniel, I knew you were the best, Sarah gushed, throwing her arms around you. Get up, Layla chuckled, watching the display of affection. Everyone is watching. Look at them, and they really love each other. Yes, yes, John agreed, his voice relieved that the attention had shifted away from him. Since they're so in love, why not get married today? Rachel suggested, her voice bright and cheerful. Get married, Sarah repeated, her eyes widening in alarm. Yes, yes, Rachel insisted, nodding enthusiastically. We're busy abroad and rarely come back. We might not be here when they have their wedding. So, why not take advantage of today and get married? That would give us peace of mind. Yes, yes, John echoed, his voice eager to escape the increasingly tense situation. Exactly. Once Daniel and I get married, no one can stop me, Sarah thought, her desperation growing. As long as the kids agree, I don't object, Layla said, her voice surprisingly agreeable. John and Rachel are right, Layla added, turning to you. The wedding is next month, so we can get the license any time. Right, Sarah? Yeah, Sarah mumbled, her voice devoid of any enthusiasm. Whatever you say. Then it's settled, Layla declared, clapping her hands together. They get the license after lunch. Come on, it's a happy day, Layla, John said, trying to lighten the mood. Let's have a drink. Daniel, let's celebrate together, Rachel added, her voice cheerful. It's almost time, and she should be here soon, Sarah thought, her mind racing, a new wave of panic washing over her. Come on, let's keep drinking, John urged, raising his glass. Dad, don't drink too much, Sarah protested weakly, trying to regain control of the situation. No worries, I'm fine, John insisted, waving away her concern. Daniel, let's have another drink, Rachel urged, pushing another glass towards you. John, I should be toasting you, you said, raising your glass to the actors. What a harmonious family. It's really admirable. Chloe, it's a pity, Layla suddenly said, turning to Chloe, her voice filled with false sympathy. If my son wasn't taken, I would have loved you as his wife. Huh? You exclaimed, taken aback by your mother's unexpected comment. Mum, what are you saying? Layla, a great guy like Daniel, I wouldn't dare. Chloe demurred, her voice feigning modesty. Nonsense, Layla insisted, shaking her head dismissively. Daniel is not worthy of you. What does she mean by that? You thought, your confusion growing. Daniel is not good enough for her. Then he must be only for me, Sarah thought, her jealousy flaring again. Come on, let's drink, John urged, raising his glass again. Stop drinking, Sarah pleaded, her voice desperate. Oh, I mean, Dad, you've had enough. You'll get drunk. I'm fine, really, John insisted, waving away her concern. Come on, keep drinking, Rachel urged, pushing another drink towards him. You just can't drink this much. Sarah protested, her voice rising in panic. Mum's not well, and you need to take care of her, Sarah added, grasping at any excuse to end the awkward lunch. Oh, please, Rachel scoffed, rolling her eyes dismissively. She's perfectly fine. Oh, Sarah stammered, her mind blanking. Wait, didn't Mrs. Smith have a severe illness last year? Chloe suddenly interjected, her voice casual but sharp. She recovered so fast. Yes, Rachel agreed readily, seizing on the opportunity to deflect attention away from her and John's increasingly shaky performance. Thanks to Sarah, she took care of me so well these past 6 months. Without her, I can't be this great. Oh, really? Chloe asked, her eyes narrowing slightly, a hint of suspicion creeping into her voice. Sarah is so dutiful. It looks like we're done eating, Layla announced, rising from the table, effectively ending the increasingly tense and awkward meal. Sarah, let's get the license, Layla said, turning to Sarah, her voice brisk and businesslike. Yeah, Sarah mumbled, her voice devoid of any enthusiasm. Right, Dad. Don't you have plans this afternoon? Sarah asked John, her voice laced with desperation to get rid of the actors. Oh, yes, John exclaimed, seizing on the excuse to escape. I almost forgot. I was so happy. Daniel, Sarah, hurry and get the license, and I'll head back to Cyprus. So soon? Layla asked, her voice sounding genuinely disappointed. My dad's business keeps him busy, Sarah quickly explained, her voice strained. I thought it was a small business, Chloe interjected, her voice deceptively innocent. Can't even take a day off? That's none of your concern, John snapped, his voice suddenly sharp and defensive. It is a family matter, Rachel added, her voice equally defensive. Miss Bolton, you'll stay out of it, Rachel warned, her eyes flashing angrily. That's right, John echoed, his voice hardening. Mom, Dad, let's go, Sarah urged, pulling the actors towards the door, eager to escape the escalating tension. John and Rachel, I'll see you out, Layla said politely, escorting the actors towards the entrance. Chloe, Layla said, turning back to Chloe, her voice thoughtful. This family is a bit odd. Really? Chloe asked, feigning surprise. Sarah, didn't enjoy lunch? Layla asked, turning to Sarah, her voice sharp. The real surprise is just coming, Layla added, her eyes gleaming with a strange anticipation. Suddenly, the doorbell rang, and a rough-looking woman burst into the mansion, her eyes wild and angry. Who are you? Sarah shrieked, recoiling in fear. How did you get into my house? The woman sneered, her eyes fixed on Sarah. Who am I? You should ask my dear daughter. Isn't that right, Sarah? Daughter, you exclaimed, your voice filled with confusion. What's going on? I. Sarah stammered, her face paling. Sarah, I raised you for years, the woman continued, her voice rising in accusation. Now you're climbing the social ladder, about to marry into wealth, right? I'm your adoptive mother. What's wrong with you? Sarah cried, her voice trembling with fear and desperation. I don't know you at all. Stop claiming fake relations. My parents are right here. Bullshit, the woman roared, her face contorted with rage. Don't forget. Who the hell picked you up off the streets? Not only did you steal my man, you ran off with my money. Now you pretend you don't know me. I have no idea what you're saying, Sarah insisted, her voice shrill. You've got the wrong person. You misbehavior, the woman spat, her eyes blazing with fury. No matter what you look like, I'll recognize you. Go back with me. No, Sarah cried, struggling to break free from the woman's grasp. Release me. Daniel, help me. You hesitated for a moment, then stepped forward, pulling Sarah away from the woman. Release her, you commanded, your voice firm. Oh, jerk, you're strong, the woman sneered, her eyes narrowing. You're Sarah's man, right? Do you know me? I'm her mom. You not only don't respect me, but also are bullying me like this nuisance. Be polite. Oh, you have quite a temper, the woman chuckled, her voice laced with sarcasm. You will be my rich son-in-law, so I forgive you. Remember to show me more respect. Daniel, I don't know her. Sarah pleaded, her voice trembling. Drive away this mad woman. Her, the woman scoffed, her eyes gleaming with malice. You're wearing fancy clothes. What do you want to do? Sarah, do you think you will be a rich girl as long as you hire them to pretend to be your parents? Pah, bitch. Even if you dress fancy, you're still a beggar. Shut up! Sarah shrieked, her face contorted with rage. Don't just stand here. Drive away this mad woman. Don't touch me, the woman warned, her voice rising hysterically. You didn't tell me I had to act like this. John suddenly interjected, his voice filled with panic. What? Act? Rachel echoed, her voice equally panicked. Make it clear to me. Don't ask me. I won't charge you. It's complicated. I can't do this play. I'm leaving, John declared, turning to flee. Come back, Sarah pleaded, her voice desperate. I'm leaving too, Rachel announced, following John. Goodbye. I'm screwed, Sarah whispered, her face pale with despair. What's the matter? Layla asked, her voice laced with amusement. Why did they run away? Layla, don't you get it? Chloe interjected, her voice calm and controlled. Miss Smith hired 2 actors to pretend to be her parents. Her real mom is here, so the false parents ran away. Shut up! Sarah shrieked at Chloe, her voice filled with rage and humiliation. You arranged all this, right? You must have sent her here. You've wronged me, Chloe replied, her voice cool and detached. Your foster mother came by herself. It's nothing to do with me. It's your fault, Sarah accused, turning to Layla, her voice trembling with anger and betrayal. You've always hated me, and don't want me to marry Daniel. Ella, Sarah suddenly realized, her eyes widening in horror. You're Ella. You came to get back at me, right? That's enough, you said, stepping forward, your voice firm. Daniel, is this the woman you want to marry? Layla asked, her voice filled with disgust. She's a liar, and actually hired fake parents. Why did you approach Daniel? It's clear. She is vain and wants to marry a rich man. Shut up! Sarah screamed at Layla, her voice shrill and hysterical. Daniel, that's not the truth. Let me explain it. Don't explain it, you cut her off, your voice cold and devoid of emotion. I trusted you, but you were lying to me. I didn't lie to you, Sarah insisted, her voice trembling. Well, half a year ago, you reminded her, your voice hard. You told me you would accompany your mum to see a doctor abroad. You've been lying, right? I can't afford to go abroad, Sarah confessed, her voice barely audible. Sarah, how many mums do you have? Layla asked, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Shut up! Sarah screamed again, her composure completely shattering. Daniel, I didn't mean to lie to you, Sarah pleaded, her voice breaking. I really don't mean to. I feared you would disdain me because I was an orphan. Daniel, I love you. I was afraid I would lose you, so I did that. We've been together so long, you said, your voice filled with pain and disappointment. I tried to meet your parents many times, but you refused me. I doubted you, but finally, I chose to trust you because I loved you. However, I found I don't know you now. That lady, who was simple and kind and willing to take risks for me, is a liar now and even hired fake parents. No, Sarah sobbed, tears streaming down her face. I haven't changed, Daniel. All will be fine as long as we love each other. How could she be simple and kind? Layla scoffed, her voice filled with contempt. You really don't know Sarah. Shut up, Sarah shrieked at Layla again, her voice cracking. What's wrong? Layla asked, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Are you afraid? Let her speak. This bitch has been acting, the foster mother interjected, her voice rough and angry. I raised her, but she not only stole my money, but also seduced my boyfriend while I wasn't at home. Then they eloped and set my house on fire. What? You exclaimed, shock rippling through you. I can't believe it, Layla gasped, her face pale with disbelief. Daniel, you can't marry her, Layla warned, her voice urgent. Do you want to have the second Ella? So she knows Ella, Sarah thought, her mind racing. She didn't show up during my 6-month marriage with Daniel. It turns out that she knows all. She just didn't acknowledge me as her daughter-in-law. No, Layla said, her voice softening slightly. I'm not as malicious as Ella is. Daniel, believe me, Sarah pleaded, her voice desperate. Please believe me. We've been together so long and are finally getting married. But do you want to abandon our love for nonsense? Why are you treating me like this? Sarah cried, her voice breaking. Haven't you hurt me enough? Do you need me dead to make you happy? Well, you said, your voice cold and distant. I would never return. Sarah, defeated and heartbroken, ran out of the mansion, tears streaming down her face. Sarah, you called out, your voice filled with a mixture of pity and anger. Will she be hurt? Layla asked, her voice laced with concern. This bitch is smart, Layla scoffed dismissively. She thinks of herself above others. She won't leave. Daniel is really in love with her. Why are you still here? Layla asked Sarah's foster mother, her voice cold and impatient. Get away from my home. I'm your future in-law, the woman protested, her voice indignant. Don't be cruel. Layla snorted, dismissing her words. Future in-law? I will never allow Daniel to marry Sarah. Oh, come on, Layla said to Chloe, turning to her, her voice softening. Layla, I should leave now, Chloe said politely, preparing to depart. Chloe, I'm sorry to let you see it, Layla apologized, her voice sincere. It's nothing, Chloe reassured her, waving away her concern. Chloe, Layla said, her voice thoughtful. What do you think of Daniel? I wish you were my family. Be your family? Chloe repeated, her eyes widening slightly. So, is Sarah abandoned? Chloe thought to herself, a hint of satisfaction creeping into her expression. Layla, don't worry, Chloe reassured her, her voice soothing. Daniel and Sarah love each other. Sarah will be your daughter-in-law. I have to leave for business, Chloe announced, her voice brisk and businesslike, preparing to leave. Later, at her penthouse, Chloe spoke to Ada. How's it going on? She asked, her voice eager. Wonderful, Ada replied, a satisfied smile on her face. Will Daniel break up with Sarah? Chloe pressed, her eyes narrowed with anticipation. You underestimate Sarah, Ada said, shaking her head dismissively. She's Daniel's savior, so Daniel won't hurt her. Outside your penthouse, Sarah stood on the balcony, poised on the edge, looking down at the city below. Sarah, calm down, you pleaded, your voice filled with desperation, standing inside the room, afraid to approach her. Daniel, don't come to me, Sarah cried, her voice trembling. Let me jump. I'm too guilty to meet you. Come here to talk to me, you urged, your voice soft and gentle. It's too dangerous over there. Daniel, I don't want you to be in trouble, Sarah sobbed, her voice breaking. "Let's stop here." "Sarah," you pleaded again, your voice cracking with emotion. "Before leaving," Sarah said, her voice resigned, "I want to tell you something. I hope to clear the air. What do you want to say?" You asked, your voice barely a whisper. "Do you know why I denied she was my foster mother?" Sarah asked, her voice low and trembling. "Why?" You asked, your eyes fixed on her. "Do you think I'm vain and a misbehavior?" Sarah continued, her voice laced with pain. "I didn't think that," you replied, your voice honest. "That's not the truth," Sarah insisted, her voice rising slightly. "My foster mother is a demon. When I was young, she brought me home. I thought I would have a family, but she asked me to make money. She forced me to beg every day without giving me food. If I didn't get the money, she would beat me. Do you know why I stole her money and burned her house? She thought I'd grown up, so she wanted me to marry an old man. I had no choice but to run out." "I see," you murmured, your voice filled with pity and remorse. "Sarah, you were miserable. That's the last thing I want to mention," Sarah said, her voice softening. "I didn't expect her to show up on the happiest day for you and me and show you the worst of me. I'm ashamed. Daniel, I don't regret loving you. The best thing I've done is pulling you out of the car. Bye." "Sarah," you called out again, your voice filled with anguish, but she didn't respond. "I promise that I won't let anybody use this thing to hurt you," you vowed, your voice firm with determination. "What?" Sarah asked, turning back to you, her eyes filled with confusion. "I forgive you, Sarah," you declared, your voice filled with sincerity. "Even though you lied to me, I forgive you. Let's be together, okay? Ignore others' words." "Daniel, are you serious?" Sarah asked, her eyes widening in disbelief. "Yes," you confirmed, nodding firmly. "I won't let you be hurt. I promise if something happens to you, I won't forgive myself." "What about our wedding?" Sarah asked, her voice hopeful. "We'll go ahead with the wedding," you reassured her, your voice gentle. "Leave my mom to me. You don't need to do anything and just wait to be a bride." "Daniel, you knew you loved me," Sarah said, her voice filled with joy. "Daniel, as long as I am your savior, you won't leave me," Sarah thought to herself, a triumphant smile playing on her lips. "I'll try on my dresses tomorrow," Sarah said, her voice cheerful. "Would you like to go with me?" "Of course," you replied, your voice warm and loving. "It's a big day, so I can't be absent." Layla, still suspicious of Sarah, spoke to her assistant, Ada. "I'm still skeptical of Sarah," Layla confessed, her voice troubled. "Ada, what's wrong, madam?" Ada asked, her voice attentive. "Hire a private detective to investigate Sarah carefully," Layla instructed, her voice firm. "I won't allow Daniel to fall in love with a liar." "Okay, madam," Ada replied, nodding obediently. Meanwhile, Ada informed Chloe about Layla's investigation. "Miss Bolton," Ada said, her voice urgent. "Daniel and Sarah are reconciled. Madam Welch is investigating Sarah. Send all the information on Sarah to Madam Welch," Chloe instructed, her voice cold and decisive. "She will be surprised. Okay?" Chloe then went to a high-end bridal boutique. Did you finish the wedding dress I asked you to make?" Chloe asked the boutique owner, her voice demanding. "Yes," the owner replied, nodding respectfully. "Well, let's go," Chloe said, her eyes gleaming with anticipation. It's time for Daniel to recall me, his ex-wife. At the boutique, Sarah was trying on wedding dresses, her face radiant with happiness. Daniel, this is nice, Sarah gushed, twirling in front of you. That's beautiful, you agreed, your voice warm and admiring. Lady, sir, welcome. A sales assistant greeted Chloe and Ada as they entered. Try it if you like, the assistant offered, gesturing towards the racks of dresses. You always look gorgeous, the assistant complimented Sarah, her voice syrupy sweet. Mrs. Smith, it's nice to have Mr. Welch as your husband, the assistant added, fawning over Sarah. Well, try on the dress, you said to Sarah, your voice gentle. I'll wait for you. Okay, Sarah replied, her smile radiant. This way, please. The assistant directed Sarah towards the fitting room. Mr. Welch, sit here, please, the assistant instructed, gesturing towards a plush armchair. You'll be the first to see her when she is dressed. Okay, you replied, settling into the chair, your eyes fixed on the fitting room door. Daniel, you'll be shocked, Sarah called out from behind the door, her voice filled with excitement. This dress is prepared for you. Suddenly, the fitting room door opened and Chloe stepped out, wearing the exact wedding dress Ella had worn when you married her. Ella? You gasped, your voice filled with shock and disbelief. Ella, you're alive. Oh, you're hurting me, Chloe said. Pulling away slightly, her voice cool and detached. You're alive, you repeated, your voice still filled with disbelief. Where have you been these years? Mr. Welch, be polite, Chloe said, her voice sharp and dismissive. Are you Chloe's bodyguard? You asked Ada, confused. Of course, Ada replied, her voice firm. Are you thinking I'm your short-lived ex-wife again? Chloe asked, her eyes narrowed. No, you said, shaking your head, trying to clear your thoughts. Your wedding dress is the same as the one Ella wore when she and I got married. What? Chloe exclaimed, feigning surprise. The same. Hey, Chloe called out to the boutique owner, her voice sharp. I told you to give me a one-of-a-kind tuxedo for my grandpa's birthday next month. Why is it the same as the one his ex-wife wore? It was worn by a dead man. A bad luck. It's impossible, the owner stammered, his face paling with fear. Every wedding dress in our shop is unique, and there can't be a second one. Mr. Welch, I think you are wrong. It was really my mistake. You hurt me, Chloe complained, her voice petulant. Miss Bolton, it's my fault. The owner apologized profusely. I'm sorry. Mr. Welch, Chloe said, turning back to you, her eyes searching yours. You said you didn't love your ex-wife. Why do you remember her wedding dress? Your fiancé may be jealous. You stammered, your mind a whirlwind of confusion and doubt. I don't know why I remember it. Are you missing your ex-wife? Chloe pressed, her eyes narrowing. No way, you denied quickly, shaking your head. I don't like this dress, Chloe declared, her voice dismissive. Give me another one. Okay, the owner said, relieved to escape the awkward situation. Miss Bolton, please. Chloe went back into the fitting room, followed by Ada and the boutique owner. You were left alone with Sarah, your mind racing with unanswered questions and growing suspicion. Sarah emerged from the fitting room a few moments later, her face pale and drawn. Why did you come in? She asked Chloe, her voice strained and accusing. This is a fitting room. Chloe turned to Sarah, her eyes cold and piercing. How did you get this scar? She asked, her voice low and menacing, pointing to a faint scar visible on Sarah's side. "It's none of your business," Sarah snapped, her voice defensive. "It's from the liver transplant," Chloe stated, her voice matter-of-fact. "Do you only have half a liver now?" "Are you Ella?" Chloe asked, her voice barely above a whisper, her eyes searching Sarah's face intently. "Mr. Welsh," Sarah cried out, turning to you for help, her voice trembling with fear. "You're mad. I've told you I'm Chloe, not Ella." "Well, why do you have this scar?" Chloe pressed, ignoring Sarah's denial. "What's your intention? You want to know it, right?" Chloe continued, her voice rising slightly. "Well, I'm gonna answer you. When I was 8 years old, I fell off my horse and cut myself on a branch. I almost passed away when the branch ripped through my chest. I was resuscitated for 3 days. My liver is fine now. You can ask my granddad." "A branch," you murmured, your mind reeling. "Could there be such a coincidence?" "Mr. Welsh," Chloe said, turning to you again, her voice sharp and accusatory. "You have gone too far. If you don't go out, my family may get back to you." "Where is Daniel?" Sarah demanded, her voice laced with panic. "I don't know," Chloe replied, her voice cold and dismissive. "You don't know?" Sarah repeated, her voice rising hysterically. "You told me Daniel will be the first to see me. Where is he?" "Mr. Welch," Chloe said, turning back to you, a hint of amusement playing on her lips. "Do you have a crush on me? Your fiancé is trying on a dress, but you're in my fitting room. Miss Bolton," you said, finally breaking your silence, your voice filled with remorse. "I was wrong. Sorry." You rushed out of the fitting room, leaving Sarah and Chloe alone. Sarah, her face pale and drawn, stepped out of the fitting room a few moments later. "Daniel, why were you there?" she asked, her voice trembling. "I couldn't wait to see you." You lied, your voice strained. "Well," Sarah said, trying to regain her composure. "Do I look good in this dress?" Beautiful," you mumbled, your eyes avoiding hers. "You're not even looking at me," Sarah accused, her voice sharp. "No," you protested weakly. "You always look good." "Get me another one," Sarah demanded, her voice cold and dismissive. "Okay," you agreed, your voice devoid of emotion. "Sarah." "What's wrong, Daniel?" Sarah asked, noticing your troubled expression. "Didn't you have a liver transplant?" You asked, your voice barely above a whisper, your eyes fixed on hers. "Why don't you have a scar? Why? Where's the scar?" Sarah froze, her face paling, her eyes widening in panic. "Don't worry," Sarah stammered, her voice trembling. "She'll get one soon." "Where is your scar?" You pressed, your voice relentless. "Did you lie to me about the liver surgery? You didn't get sick, right?" "I didn't lie to you," Sarah insisted, her voice strained. "Calm down." "You didn't lie to me?" You repeated, your voice hard and cold. "Well, why don't you have a scar?" "I'm about to wear a wedding dress," Sarah explained, her voice desperate. "So I had a scar removal surgery. You know, girls love beauty." "Beauty?" You scoffed, disbelief etched on your face. "What doctor is so able to do this? There are no traces." "The technology is advanced now," Sarah insisted, her voice becoming increasingly frantic. "Any hospital can do it. Each hospital will keep a record." "What hospital? When did you have the surgery?" "Daniel, you don't believe me," Sarah cried, tears welling up in her eyes. "You didn't even have a scar. Don't ask me." You should ask the doctor. You arranged for my liver transplant. Why would I lie to you? If you don't trust me, you can investigate it. Okay, you said, your voice flat and emotionless. I'll find out. You'd better not be lying to me. Sarah, her facade crumbling, whispered to herself, I'm screwed. He'll find it out. Where is my phone? She frantically called Miss Smith. Somebody... Miss Smith, do you want to continue? The sales assistant asked, approaching Sarah. Are you blind? Sarah snapped, her voice sharp and angry. He's gone. I won't try on dresses. Give me my phone. Okay. Sarah's voice trembled as she spoke into the phone. Boris, something happens. Back at Chloe's penthouse, Ada handed Chloe her medication. Miss Bolton, take your medicine. Sarah will investigate the liver transplant, Chloe said to Ada, her voice low and determined. Did you find that doctor? Ada asked, her voice concerned. Sarah gave him a sum of money, and he went abroad with the money, Chloe explained, her eyes narrowing. Abroad? Find him wherever he is, Chloe commanded, her voice firm. I'll leave this matter to you, okay? Chloe stared out at the city skyline, her expression hardening. Sarah, the day of your wedding is the day you go to hell, she murmured to herself, her voice filled with cold fury. I'll give you the experience of having your liver ripped out. Layla, back at her mansion, received the detective's report on Sarah. Madam, here is information on Sarah, the detective's voice announced over the phone. Sarah actually did so many bad things. She even got married at Cyprus. Such a woman can't marry Daniel. Layla's eyes widened in shock as she read the report. Where is Sarah? Layla demanded, her voice filled with rage. I'll meet her. She may be in Mr. Welch's house. She's so shameless. Layla stormed into your penthouse, finding Sarah waiting for you, her face pale and anxious. Layla, why are you here? Sarah stammered, her voice trembling with fear. Are you disappointed to see me? Layla sneered, her eyes flashing with anger. No. Layla scoffed, her voice filled with contempt. I heard you called someone. Boris? I think you heard me wrong, Sarah stammered, her voice strained. I didn't say Boris. I was wrong. I thought your ex-husband at Cyprus came. What's wrong? Did he really come to you? Layla pressed, her eyes narrowed with suspicion. How could she know it? Sarah thought, her panic rising. I don't understand your meaning, Sarah insisted, feigning innocence. How long are you going to play dumb? Layla retorted, her voice dripping with sarcasm. You don't think anyone knows what you did abroad? I'm here to clarify things with you, Layla said, her voice hardening. If you don't want Daniel to know those things, you should leave him and won't meet him again. Layla, Daniel and I love each other, Sarah pleaded, her voice desperate. We're going to get married. Don't break us up. Layla scoffed again, her voice filled with disdain. Get married? You're dirty and can't marry Daniel. Layla, I was wrong, Sarah confessed, tears welling up in her eyes. But that is the past. I really love Daniel. I promise I'll be a good wife and only love Daniel. Layla snorted dismissively. Do you believe your words? You can do anything for money. I won't allow you to marry Daniel. If you don't leave, I'll tell him the truth. No, Sarah cried, her voice filled with panic. Don't tell him. I've worked hard to get here. Please forgive me. Suddenly, Miss Smith appeared, her eyes cold and menacing. Don't pretend to be poor, Mrs. Smith hissed at Sarah. Don't talk to this old woman. Just make her disappear. Are you mad? Sarah exclaimed, recoiling in horror. She is Daniel's mom. If she is hurt, Daniel won't marry me. We can't let her tell the truth. I've done it, Mrs. Smith said, her voice cold and matter-of-fact. You can go to Starfall with me. Let's go. No, Sarah insisted, shaking her head frantically. I've already made it this far. Daniel will marry me. I can't give it up. You told me Daniel had doubted you, Miss Smith reminded her, her voice sharp. I've got an idea. Daniel told me this bracelet was the heirloom and for his wife. Ella no lo consiguió. What do you mean? Miss Smith asked, her eyes gleaming with a sinister plan. Hit her again. Miss Smith instructed her henchman, pointing at Layla. Don't make her disappear. Just make her never speak again. Later that day, you received a frantic call from Sarah. Hello, Daniel? Sarah said, her voice trembling with panic. Something happens. Layla is injured. I'll send her to the hospital. Come quickly. At the hospital, you found Sarah waiting for you, her face etched with false concern. Well, you can leave. Miss Smith dismissed her henchman, her voice curt. Don't show up again if all is fine. Don't glare at me, Miss Smith hissed at Layla, who was lying motionless in a hospital bed, her eyes closed. Just speak. Why did you have to fight me? Now, you're a vegetable. Don't worry. I'll marry Daniel and be your daughter-in-law. Don't pass away too soon. You need to watch me marry Daniel and be the Welch family's hostess. You rushed to your mother's bedside, your heart pounding with fear and grief. Mom, you whispered, your voice choked with emotion. Daniel, you're finally here, Sarah said, approaching you, her voice filled with feigned concern. Mom, how are you? You asked, your eyes fixed on your mother's still face. Layla is out of danger, Sarah replied, her voice soothing. But with a severe head injury and bruises on her brain, she won't be able to move or speak. What? You gasped, horror gripping your heart. How could this be? It's my fault, Sarah confessed, her voice laced with false remorse. She talked to me about marriage and bumped into a cabinet. The vase fell down and hit Layla's head. Then she becomes this. My mum talked about our marriage? You asked, your voice barely above a whisper. Yeah, Sarah confirmed, nodding solemnly. Layla gave me the bracelet. She said it was for your wife and asked us to get married early. Mom, is it really so? You whispered, turning back to your mother, your eyes searching her still face for any sign of recognition. No, Layla seemed to whisper, her eyes still closed. She's lying. Daniel, don't believe her, Layla seemed to murmur again, her voice weak and barely audible. She has been lying to you. Mom, do you want to say something? You asked, leaning closer to her, your voice trembling. Layla must be worried that the wedding won't be held on time, Sarah interjected quickly, her voice loud and cheerful, drowning out your mother's faint whispers. Layla, don't worry, Sarah continued, addressing your unconscious mother, her voice sickeningly sweet. I will take good care of Daniel and do my duty as a wife. Take it easy. Our wedding will be on time. Isn't that right, Daniel? You looked at Sarah, then back at your mother, your mind a whirlwind of confusion and despair. Mom gave Sarah the heirloom, you thought, your heart sinking. So she may want me to marry Sarah. I can't let my mom worry anymore. Mom, don't worry, you said, your voice strained. but determined. The wedding will be on time. No. Layla seemed to whisper again, her voice weaker than before. Daniel, you can't marry her. Layla, get better soon, you said, turning back to your mother, ignoring her faint protests. You should watch Daniel and I get married. Layla seems to be tired, Sarah said, her voice dismissive. Let's go back and let her rest. Mum, we're leaving. Have a good rest. I'll visit you later. Layla, don't worry, you said to your still unconscious mother, your voice filled with false reassurance. This is one of the top brain experts in the country. I asked him to treat you. You'll recover before the wedding. Layla, don't worry. The best is yet to come. Daniel, I can finally marry you, Sarah purred, her voice filled with triumph. What's wrong? Sarah asked, noticing your somber expression. Are you unhappy? No, you lied, your voice flat. I'm just tired. Cheer up, Sarah chided, forcing a bright smile. It's a big day for us. Well, let's welcome the bride and groom, the wedding officiant announced, his voice booming through the grand ballroom. Stand up. It's our turn. The moment has finally arrived. Sarah, radiant in her wedding dress, took your arm, her eyes gleaming with triumph. No one can stop me from marrying Daniel, she thought, her heart pounding with exhilaration. But as they began to walk down the aisle, Sarah's eyes widened in shock and horror. Why is he here? She whispered, her voice trembling with fear. I paid him to go abroad. Why did he come? You stopped walking, your eyes fixed on a man standing at the front of the room, a grim expression on his face. What's wrong? Sarah asked, noticing your sudden hesitation. Nothing, you mumbled. Your voice strained, but your eyes remained locked on the man. Doctor, Brown, I'd like to ask you, Chloe said, her voice clear and commanding, stepping forward. Ask him after the wedding, Sarah hissed at Chloe, trying to regain control of the situation. Let's do the ceremony first. Mr. Welch, Miss Smith, Dr. Brown began, his voice ringing through the silent ballroom. It's been so long. Why are you here? Sarah demanded, her voice laced with panic. We didn't invite you. You have done so much, Doctor. Brown continued, ignoring Sarah's outburst. So you dare not invite me? What do you mean? You asked, your voice barely above a whisper, your heart pounding with dread. To be Mrs. Welch, Doctor, Brown announced, his voice filled with accusation. Miss Smith feigned illness to frame Ella. How could you forget the liver transplant? What? The guests gasped, murmurs rippling through the room. Fake illness and frame. Dr. Brown, Chloe prompted, her voice sharp. Did Sarah have a liver transplant? No, Dr. Brown replied, shaking his head firmly. She wasn't ill. She doesn't have a scar. Sure enough. No, Sarah cried, her voice rising hysterically. He's lying. I didn't do that. Sarah paid me to lie to you that she had a hepatic failure, Dr. Brown continued, his voice relentless, and that only Ella could save her. Her intention was to get Ella to lose. Ella was 6 months pregnant, and the baby was a boy. I don't know it, Sarah protested weakly, her voice trembling. I didn't do that. Mr. Welch, you may not know, Dr. Brown added, turning to you, his voice filled with remorse. That to torture Ella, Sarah ordered me not to give Ella an anesthetic. So Ella's liver was taken out in great pain. What? You gasped, horror gripping your heart. No wonder she was in pain. She wasn't anesthetized. Why did you do that? You asked Sarah, your voice filled with rage and betrayal. Dr. Brown! Sarah shrieked, her voice hysterical. Who asked you to set me up? Don't forget you're a doctor. You're setting up your patient. You have no conscience. Since I accepted your money, Dr. Brown admitted, his voice devoid of emotion. I have no conscience. I can't be a doctor now. If you don't believe me, just check my account records. 3 months ago, Sarah transferred money to me. Suddenly, another man stepped forward, his face pale and nervous. Nonsense! Sarah screamed, her voice shrill. I'll sue you and break your bank. Before that, you'd better consider how you're gonna settle your case. Who's he? You asked Chloe, your voice confused. Mr. Welch. Hello, the man said, addressing you directly, his voice trembling. I'm David Green, Sarah's classmate. 3 months ago, Sarah asked me to set a person on fire. She said she would give a lot of money. Bullshit! Sarah shrieked again, her voice cracking. I don't know you, don't know me. Davin stammered, his voice filled with fear. That's not what you said when you asked me to burn Ella's house. You told me you would support me. What's wrong? Did you want to hide this thing just by $30,000? I made a person pass away, I'm afraid. It's you who burned Ella's house, you accused Sarah, your voice filled with rage. No, Sarah insisted, shaking her head frantically. Ella's passing away has nothing to do with me. You're setting me up. He wants me not to marry you, Sarah explained, turning to you, her voice pleading. And he wants to ruin the wedding, so he's doing this on purpose. Believe me. How could I believe you? You asked, your voice cold and hard. Do I have to show you the remittance records? Davin offered, his voice trembling. No, you said, waving away his offer. Your eyes fixed on Sarah, filled with disgust and betrayal. Who asked you to do this? You demanded, turning to Chloe, your voice accusatory. How much did that person pay you to set me up? Is it you? Only you have the power to make them set me up. Chloe, I know you love Daniel, Sarah said, her voice laced with desperation. But he is going to marry me, to take him from me. You asked them to ruin the wedding and set me up, right? I wanted to see you perform, Chloe replied, her voice calm and controlled. But since you mentioned it, I want to say something to you. There is nothing left to say, you said, cutting Chloe off, your voice cold and final. Daniel won't like a vicious woman like you, Chloe declared, her voice filled with contempt. Vicious! Sarah shrieked, her voice hysterical. Who could be more vicious than you? Look at this, Chloe said, holding up a document, her voice ringing with triumph. This proves that Sarah and Boris married a year ago in Starfall. You're already married. How dare you marry Daniel for a second marriage? What's this? Sarah gasped, her face paling as she stared at the document. Who's Boris? I don't know any Boris. It must be her who forged this fake marriage certificate. How could I marry others before? The only one that I love is always you. What's your plan? Chloe asked, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Do you know that it's illegal to forge a marriage certificate? It's not fake, Chloe insisted, shaking her head. I got it from Layla. Nonsense! Sarah shrieked again, her voice cracking. She's a vegetative patient. How could she give this to you? Daniel, do you know why your mom became a vegetative patient? Chloe asked, turning to you, her voice low and menacing. It's not that she was bumped, it's because she knew Sarah's true identity already. When Layla goes to Sarah's house, she was hit by Sarah's husband, Boris. What? You gasped, horror washing over you. It's you who made Layla like this. No! Sarah screamed, her voice filled with denial. She's lying. Look, Layla gave me this bracelet, Sarah said, holding up the heirloom bracelet, her voice pleading. If she's telling the truth, why would Layla give me such an expensive bracelet? Daniel, we've been through a lot. We can finally get married now. This bracelet represents Layla's recognition. She wanted me to marry you, to be your wife. Suddenly, a voice, weak but clear, echoed through the silent ballroom. Stop! Layla's voice murmured from a speaker, her voice distorted but unmistakable. Stop lying! Layla's voice continued, faint but filled with pain and accusation. Mom! Daniel, don't believe her. She has been lying to you. No, I'm not, Sarah cried, her voice desperate. She snatched the bracelet away from my wrist. She and Boris knocked me out. She's a bad, bad woman. What's your explanation now? Chloe asked Sarah, her voice cold and triumphant. Layla, Chloe lied to you, Sarah shrieked, her voice hysterical. You must be hurt and lose your memories, right? Is it Chloe who asked you to say so? Get away, Layla's voice commanded, her voice weak but firm. I remember it very well that you and Boris knocked me out. Daniel, take the ancestral bracelet back. All right, don't worry, you said to your mother's voice, tears welling up in your eyes. Just take a rest. I'll take it back. You turned to Sarah, your face contorted with rage and grief. Take the bracelet out, you roared, your voice shaking with fury. Daniel, I was wrong, Sarah whimpered, tears streaming down her face. Please forgive me. All I did was to marry you, to be your wife. One more time, you demanded, your voice trembling with emotion. Give me the bracelet. No, Sarah screamed, clutching the bracelet tightly. It belongs to me. Daniel, our wedding is not over yet, Sarah pleaded, her voice desperate. So, do you still want to marry me? After all that you've done, you said, your voice filled with disgust and betrayal. Hurting Ella, harming my mum. Do you think I'll still marry you? Remember? Sarah cried, her voice cracking. I saved your life. You promised that you'll forgive me and love me no matter what happened. I'd give my life for you. Why don't you believe that I love you? You saved Daniel's life, Chloe interjected, her voice sharp and challenging. When is it? The 18th of October last year. I risked my life to save him from a car accident. The car accident, Chloe repeated, her voice laced with skepticism. Was he lying on his back in the chair? Or was he leaning over the steering wheel? Did he have his seatbelt on? How did you unfasten it? When you dragged him out, was there any fuel leaking from the car? Sarah stammered, her face paling, her mind blanking. It's been too long. I don't remember. You don't remember? Chloe scoffed, her voice dripping with sarcasm. How could you forget such a crucial thing? It's none of your business. Sarah shrieked, her voice hysterical. It's between me and Daniel. I forgot about the details. What? Chloe exclaimed, her eyes widening in mock surprise. Do you know the details? I do, Chloe declared, her voice ringing with certainty. It's 11:35 p.m. It's at the crossroads of Holt Road. The car collided with the fence, so Daniel fainted right away. His seatbelt was stuck, and the fuel was leaking, so the car was about to explode. Do you know how your seatbelt be unfastened so you can be saved? It was by teeth, bite by bite. How do you know that? Chloe pressed, her eyes fixed on Sarah, her voice relentless. Yet, you complained countless times about the teeth eating too slowly. Do you still remember, Daniel? Chloe asked, turning to you, her voice soft and gentle. You stared at Chloe, your eyes widening in dawning realization. Why do you know it so clearly? You whispered, your voice barely audible. Why? Chloe stepped forward, her eyes locking with yours, her voice filled with emotion. Because it was me, she declared, her voice ringing through the silent ballroom. Why wouldn't I know the details? Are you Ella? You whispered, your voice trembling with disbelief. Exactly, Chloe confirmed, nodding slowly. I'm Ella. I'm here for revenge, Sarah. No, Sarah screamed, her voice hysterical. She's dead. You're not Ella. You're Chloe. Look at this, Chloe said, pulling up her dress to reveal the liver transplant scar. Her voice filled with pain and anger. How could I leave first while you're still alive? Ella, was it you? You asked, your voice choked with emotion. After I get you out, I lost all my strength, Chloe explained, her voice softening slightly. So I called my best friend Sarah Smith to take you to the hospital. No exclamation mark, Sarah screamed again, her voice cracking. It was me. Stop lying. Why don't you tell me earlier? You asked Chloe, your voice filled with remorse. Why? I told you, but you don't believe me just because of Sarah, Chloe replied, her voice laced with bitterness. You hurt me even more than Sarah. That's because you got me drunk that night. Do you think it was me who got you drunk that night? It was Sarah. But you went to the wrong room. The real victim here is me. What? What have I done before? You whispered, your mind reeling with guilt and regret. Fortunately, I'm lucky to be alive, Chloe continued, her voice hardening again. How could I see you living so well in this world? It was you who arranged for today, right? It was you who brought them here. Exactly, Chloe confirmed, her voice cold and triumphant. It's supposed to be simple to take revenge on you, but vanish you so easily would be too good for you, wouldn't it? I'm gonna make you lose everything at the moment you're happiest. What now? Sarah? How vicious of you, Sarah shrieked, her voice filled with rage and hatred. Vicious! Chloe scoffed, her voice dripping with sarcasm. It's time for you to feel the pain that you've inflicted on me. Guards! Yes, Miss Bolton, Ada and Miss Smith replied, stepping forward. Didn't she want my liver before? Chloe asked, her eyes fixed on Sarah, a cruel smile playing on her lips. I'm gonna treat you in your way. No anesthesia. Copy that, Ada confirmed, her voice cold and efficient. You can't do this to me, Sarah screamed, her voice hysterical. Daniel, help me. Why'd you lie to me? You cried, your voice filled with anguish, turning to Sarah, your eyes filled with pain and betrayal. Why? Daniel, Sarah sobbed, tears streaming down her face. Shut up, Chloe roared, her voice shaking with rage. You make me sick. Why are you so vicious? You're such a heartless devil. Ha ha ha, Chloe laughed, her voice echoing through the ballroom. Are you laughing? Sarah shrieked, her voice filled with disbelief and horror. I'm vicious. And you. It was you who ordered the surgery and left your flesh and blood away. Even her grandma passed away because of your divorce. Ah ha ha. Am I more vicious than you? Ha ha. You're the one who brought all this hurt upon her. If it's not you, what can I do to Ella? Ha ha! It's my fault. It's all my fault. You cried, your voice breaking with remorse. I harmed my lifesaver. What I regret the most is to save you. Go ahead, Chloe commanded her guards, her voice filled with fury. Ha 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 ha! You deserve it. You deserve all of it. Ella, you have only half a liver now, Sarah taunted, her voice weak but still laced with malice. Your child is gone either. You don't have much time left. I have no regrets, Chloe declared, her voice ringing with defiance. No regrets. Cut out her tongue, Chloe commanded her guards, her eyes blazing with hatred. Did you miss your meds today? Ada asked Chloe, her voice concerned. What's wrong? Don't touch me, Chloe snapped, recoiling from Ada's touch. Thanks to you, I've got a bunch of health issues, Chloe explained, her voice strained. It's my routine to take meds. Ella, I was wrong, you pleaded, your voice filled with remorse. Please give me a chance to make it up to you, okay? Make it up, Chloe repeated, her voice dripping with sarcasm. How? I can give my liver to you, you offered desperately, your voice trembling. No need, Chloe scoffed, turning away from you in disgust. You make me sick. Ella, I get it that you won't forgive me, you said, your voice filled with despair. Of course I won't, Chloe confirmed, her voice cold and hard. I won't let either of you and Sarah off the hook. Next up, it's your turn. You can do anything to me, you offered, your voice resigned. Ella, you've been through so much, you continued, your voice breaking. If you want my life, take it any time. Your life? Chloe scoffed again, her voice filled with contempt. Is it worth the debt you owe me? What about my unborn child and my innocent grandma? How are you going to make up for that? It's impossible to repay that debt. Just you wait, Chloe warned, her voice low and menacing. Karma's going to catch up with you. Chloe, Layla's voice suddenly called out, weak but clear. Layla, Chloe whispered, her eyes widening in disbelief. I'm Ella, Layla continued, her voice faint but filled with emotion. The daughter-in-law you used to look down on the most. Daniel. Mom. I'll accept whatever revenge she wants to take on me, you said to Layla's voice, your voice filled with remorse. We owe her too much. The next day, your assistant rushed into your office, his face pale and panicked. We're in trouble, Mr. Welch, he announced, his voice trembling. The company's got malicious attack, our stock's plummeting, and all the shareholders are offloading. We're on the brink of bankruptcy. Let's go bankrupt then, you replied, your voice devoid of emotion. I beg you pardon, your assistant stammered, his face filled with disbelief. Go bankrupt, you repeated, your voice flat. I guess I had this coming. It's also what I owe her. Sell all my assets, off to compensate the employees. If there's any money left, give it away. Where are you going? Your assistant asked, his voice filled with confusion. To right my wrongs, you replied, your voice filled with a newfound sense of purpose. Later, Ada informed Chloe. Miss Bolton, Daniel has sold all his assets and donated the money. He's completely broke. Does he think doing this will wipe away all his sins? He's dreaming. You arrange it, Chloe commanded, her voice cold and hard. Keep him down in the mud forever. Copy that. Chloe, despite her vengeful plan, found herself drawn to a different path. Oh, it's my volunteer day at the Welfare Institute. She suddenly remembered, her voice softening. Did you get all the stuff ready? Yes, Ada confirmed, nodding. I handed it over to the director. Okay, let's go. At the Welfare Institute, Chloe was greeted by a group of children, their faces lighting up with joy at her arrival. Such a huge mountain, one of the children exclaimed, pointing to a pile of donated goods. Oh, Ella, another child cried, rushing to hug her. We miss you so much. I miss you too, Chloe replied, her voice filled with warmth. Did you behave in my absence? Did you eat well? Yes, I did. The children chorused, their voices cheerful. Ella, a man just joined us, one of the children announced excitedly. And he brought us lots of snacks. What man? Chloe asked, her brow furrowed in confusion. Where's he? Right there, the child pointed, gesturing towards a figure standing slightly apart from the group. Danielle, Chloe whispered, her heart skipping a beat. You approached Chloe, your eyes filled with remorse and a desperate hope for forgiveness. Go and have some fun, Chloe said to the children, gently dismissing them. Uh-huh, the children replied, scampering off to play. I want to chat with him, Chloe added, her eyes fixed on you. Ella, small world, huh? You said, your voice low and hesitant. What are you doing here? Chloe asked, her voice cold and distant. I don't know what I can do for you, you confessed, your voice filled with shame. This is where you grow, Chloe said, her voice flat. I don't need you to do anything, Chloe interrupted, her voice sharp and dismissive. All the kids here don't need a hypocritical man just like you. Just leave now. Don't take me wrong, you pleaded, your voice filled with sincerity. I'm sincere with the kids. They're innocent. Can you just let me be with them? How dare you? Chloe exclaimed, her voice rising in anger. If it wasn't because of you, my kid would be born now. How dare you say you want to be with the kids? You're such an evil. Sorry, you whispered, your voice choked with emotion. Sorry. You're sorry for my unborn child, Chloe spat, her voice filled with contempt. Ella, you pleaded again, your voice trembling. Please give me another chance. We'll have another baby. Another, Chloe repeated, her voice laced with sarcasm. Why do you think I'll have another baby with you? And with my health, do you think I can bear a child? You have made me unable to be a mother again. It is all my fault, you confessed, your voice filled with remorse. I hurt you. Don't be pretentious, Chloe snapped, her voice cold and hard. You owe me, and you'll never pay it back. Get out of here, or you'll regret it. Just then, Ada approached Chloe, her voice urgent. Miss Bolton, Ada whispered. Grandma's not dead. What? Chloe gasped, her eyes widening in shock. Grandma's not dead. She's alive. Where is she? Chloe demanded, her voice trembling with a mixture of hope and disbelief. Take me to her, Chloe pleaded, her voice urgent. Well, Ada said, her voice gentle. I'll take you to her now. You're not well. Calm down. At a secluded countryside house, Chloe saw her grandmother sitting in a rocking chair, her eyes vacant and unfocused. Grandma, Chloe whispered, her heart pounding in her chest. Is she really alive? Why didn't you tell me sooner? Before, you were Chloe Bolton, Ada explained, her voice low and gentle. I couldn't tell you. And Grandma had dementia. She forgot all. Forget, Chloe repeated, her voice filled with disbelief. Why? When she knew we were divorced, Ada explained. She had a stroke. To get you to sign, I told you Grandma was dead. And when I heard of your passing away, I let Grandma recuperate here. Her illness was cured, but she had late effects. Now she has forgotten everything. No way, Chloe whispered, tears welling up in her eyes. Grandma won't forget me. Grandma, I'm Ella. I'm back. Her grandmother looked at her, her eyes still vacant. Who are you? She asked, her voice weak and confused. I don't know you. Grandma, I'm Ella. You're Ella. I'm back. Suddenly, her grandmother's eyes seemed to clear for a moment, a flicker of recognition appearing in their depths. You're not Ella, her grandmother said, her voice still weak but slightly firmer. He is Ella. Her grandmother pointed at you, who had followed Chloe into the house, standing silently in the doorway. Grandma, you said softly, approaching her. Your voice filled with hope. I'm home from school. My Ella is back. How about today's exam? I'll buy you sweet. I got 100. The teacher praised me. I know my Ella is smart. Chloe watched in stunned silence as her grandmother mistook you for her. The years of pain and loss flooding back in a torrent of emotions. Why did Grandma take you as me? Chloe asked Ada, her voice trembling with grief. When Grandma got well, she shouted to see you, Ada explained gently. She was quiet while seeing me. She takes me as you. Now, in her memory, you're in elementary school. Do you visit Grandma often? Chloe asked you, her voice barely above a whisper. Yes, you replied, your voice low and sincere. My Ella often comes to me. Thanks for looking after Grandma, Chloe said, her voice filled with gratitude. This is my fault, you murmured, your voice filled with remorse. I made Grandma like this. Ella, you said, turning to Chloe, your eyes pleading for forgiveness. I don't expect you to forgive me, but please give me a chance. Don't refuse me. You'll see my sincerity. Daniel, Ella is good, her grandmother suddenly interjected, her voice surprisingly clear. Don't divorce her. Grandma, you remember Daniel? Chloe exclaimed, her eyes widening with hope. Daniel is my grandson-in-law, your husband, her grandmother continued, her voice filled with affection. You love Daniel, don't you? Yeah, her grandmother replied, nodding slowly. Ella loves Daniel the most. Daniel, her grandmother said, turning to you, her voice pleading. You haven't said yes. Okay, you said, your voice filled with emotion. I promise you not to divorce Ella. You're my good kids, her grandmother said, a faint smile gracing her lips. I'll take care of Grandma, Ada said to Chloe, her voice gentle. You don't have to come here. No, Chloe replied, shaking her head. Grandma has thought I'm you. She'll be upset if I don't show up. Have you forgotten why she became like this? Chloe asked, her voice hardening, turning back to you, her eyes cold and accusing. Sorry, you whispered, your voice filled with shame. I know I was wrong. Ella, give me a chance to make up. You pleaded again, your voice trembling. Grandma also hopes we're together. Stop following me, Chloe snapped, her voice sharp and dismissive, turning away from you and walking towards the door. No, you replied, your voice firm and resolute. I'll follow you anyway. I'll make you love me again. You wish, Chloe scoffed, her voice filled with contempt. As Chloe walked away, Miss Smith stepped forward, blocking your path. Miss Bolton asks you to stop, Miss Smith said, her voice cold and menacing. Didn't you hear that? It's not your business, you retorted, pushing past Miss Smith. Get away. I'm Miss Bolton's bodyguard, Miss Smith warned, her voice hardening. It's my job to protect her. I won't hurt her, you insisted, your voice pleading. You've hurt her much, Miss Smith sneered, her eyes flashing with anger. Get him down if he gets closer. Yes, another bodyguard replied, stepping forward. If you'll be happy, just do it, you said, your voice filled with despair. Do you think I won't? Miss Smith retorted, her voice laced with malice. Get lost. I won't leave Ella again, you declared, your voice firm and resolute. You don't deserve to say that, Miss Smith sneered, her fist connecting with your jaw, sending you crashing to the ground. Ah! You groaned, pain shooting through your body. Don't pretend here, Miss Smith scoffed, looking down at you with contempt. It's too late. Do you know how much Miss Bolton suffered in marriage? If Miss Bolton's didn't stop them, the Bolton group has vanished you. Ah! You groaned again, pain racking your body. Let me vanish, you whispered, your voice barely audible. A man like me doesn't deserve to live. Okay, I'll help you, Miss Smith said, a cruel smile playing on her lips. Stop, Chloe's voice suddenly commanded, stopping Miss Smith in her tracks. Miss Bolton, Miss Smith said, turning to Chloe, her voice respectful. Chloe looked down at you, lying on the ground, bruised and bleeding. Ella, you whispered, your eyes searching hers, pleading for forgiveness. You still love me, right? You asked, your voice barely audible. You think too much, Chloe replied, her voice cold and detached. You have to be alive to feel real pain. Don't get your hands dirty, Chloe said to her bodyguards, waving them away. Let's go. Yes. As Chloe turned to leave, you whispered again, your voice filled with desperation. Ella, I will follow you. Later that night, Chloe watched from her window as you stood outside in the pouring rain, your figure silhouetted against the streetlights. It's raining, Chloe murmured to Ada, her voice barely above a whisper. Wrap up warm. Well. Should I kick him out? Ada asked, her voice hesitant. Let him alone, Chloe replied, her voice soft but firm. He owes me. The next morning, Ada checked on you outside, finding you shivering and feverish. Miss Bolton, Ada said, her voice concerned. He got a fever. Get him to the hospital. Don't let him pass away at my door. It's unlucky. Yes, Miss Bolton. I'll do it. At the hospital, you drifted in and out of consciousness, your mind filled with fragmented memories of Ella. Why are you doing this? You murmured, your voice weak and delirious. Ella, Ella, Ella Nash, I got you. Ella, I'll evade you. Ella, we meet again. Suddenly, Sarah appeared at your bedside, her eyes gleaming with malice. Sarah, you whispered, your voice barely audible. Sarah, what do you want? Evade you, of course, Sarah sneered, her voice filled with hatred. You screwed me up. I'll take you down with me. Well, should I cut your face first? Sarah mused, her eyes fixed on your face, a cruel smile playing on her lips. Calm down, you whispered, your voice weak. You'll regret it if you hurt me. What can you do to me? Sarah scoffed, her voice filled with contempt. I've got half my liver cut off, same as yours. Ella, isn't you Miss Bolton? Now you're at my hands. You'll always lose. Ella, Sarah taunted again, her voice dripping with malice. Just then, Chloe rushed into the room, her face pale with worry. Daniel, Chloe cried out, her voice filled with fear. Why are you here? Sarah's eyes widened in shock as she saw Chloe. Sarah, release Ella, you pleaded, your voice weak and trembling. Ella. Oh, it's so sweet, Sarah mocked, her voice laced with sarcasm. Did you make up? Ella, you're so abject. He did that to you, but you made up with him. Can't you live without a man? Sarah, what do you want? Chloe demanded, her voice sharp and forceful. Hurt me, you pleaded, your voice barely audible. Don't hurt Ella. Hurt you, Sarah repeated, her eyes gleaming with malicious glee. Do you love her so much? Didn't you say you only loved me? When Ella married you, you ignored her. Why are you in love with her now? Daniel, is your love so cheap? It's all my fault, you confessed, your voice filled with remorse. Ella has let you live. Let it go, okay? What are you talking about? Sarah shrieked, her voice hysterical. She ruined me on the happiest day. She made me what I am today. It's better to let me vanish. You deserve it, Chloe said to Sarah, her voice cold and hard. You did so many wrongs. Isn't that what you deserve? Shut up, Sarah roared at Chloe, her voice cracking. Shut up. Look clearly. I still hold your life. Let me disappear, you pleaded again, your voice barely above a whisper. My life has been ruined by you two. I don't want to live. Don't worry, Sarah said to you, her voice laced with cruel satisfaction. I'll make you suffer before you disappear. Yeah, your grandma is still alive. What do you want to do? What? Chloe gasped, her eyes widening in horror. I'll take her where she should be, Sarah sneered, her eyes gleaming with malice. I didn't expect you to lie to me, Sarah said, turning back to Chloe, her voice filled with false sorrow. You hid that old woman well. Did you love Ella early on? Sarah asked, her voice laced with jealousy. Yes, you confessed, your voice barely audible. When I heard Ella passing away, I knew I got used to having her around. I have already fallen. I just didn't want to admit it. You ... Sarah stammered, her voice trembling with rage. Fortunately, you're alive. I haven't gone that far. Shut up, Sarah roared again, her voice cracking with anger. Shut up. You're in love with her. You love her. How about me? Didn't you say you only love me? We were getting married. But Ella, a bitch, stole you from me. Ella, why did you steal my man? Sarah shrieked at Chloe, her voice hysterical. Sarah, Chloe said, her voice calm and controlled. Don't you feel guilty to say that? Our relationship has been built on your lies. You should have known your lies would be caught. Lie? So what? Sarah scoffed, her eyes blazing with anger. Do you think you two can be together without me? No way. I'll never let you be together. Ella, go to hell with me. Sarah lunged at Chloe, grabbing her arm, her eyes filled with madness. Stop, you cried, your voice weak but urgent. Oh? Sarah sneered, turning back to you, her eyes gleaming with triumph. You ache for her now. You wanted to cut off her liver and abort her baby then. Now, you ache for her? Let her go, Sarah demanded, her voice sharp. And I can do anything. Anything? Sarah repeated, her eyes narrowing. What if I demand your life for her life? Sure, you replied. your voice firm and resolute, despite your weakened state. After you make me disappear, let her go. Are you crazy? Chloe exclaimed, her voice filled with disbelief and horror. I owe you that, you whispered, your voice barely audible. I should give it back. No need, Chloe sobbed, tears streaming down her face. Do you think I'll forgive you for doing this? No way. I don't expect your forgiveness. I just want you to live well. Ha 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 ha, Sarah cackled, her laughter echoing through the room. What a great man. Are you really willing to risk your life for her? Yes. How about marrying me? Sarah suddenly suggested, her voice changing to a seductive purr. Marry me? What? Chloe gasped, her eyes widening in shock. Marry me? Sarah repeated, her voice insistent. Be with me forever and never to part. Sarah, I have nothing now, you said, your voice weak but honest. It's no use marrying me. I don't care, Sarah insisted, shaking her head vehemently. You're mine, forever. If you'll marry me, I'll let her go. No, you said, your voice firm and resolute. What? Sarah exclaimed, her eyes flashing with anger. I won't marry you. Why? Sarah shrieked, her voice hysterical. You'd rather pass away than marry me. I made a mistake once, you explained, your voice low and filled with remorse. I won't let it happen again. My wife can only be Ella. Daniel, no need to do that, Chloe pleaded, tears streaming down her face. This is my promise to you. Good. Great, Sarah sneered, her face contorted with rage. So, I will make you fugitive lovers. Daniel, kneel to me. Sarah, what do you want? Chloe demanded, her voice sharp and forceful. Didn't he say he would do everything for you? Sarah taunted Chloe, her eyes gleaming with malice. Daniel, kneel before me. Sarah, Chloe pleaded, her voice cracking. Kneel and kowtow, or I'll cut her face. No, no, you protested weakly. Don't hurt her. I'll kneel. Daniel, get up, Chloe cried, her voice filled with anguish. Aren't you the proudest? I won't have you kneeling. I promised you, you said to Chloe, your voice barely audible. I'd do anything for you. Ella, Sarah said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. You must be happy now. Daniel kneeled for you. Sarah, Chloe pleaded again, her voice breaking. Don't make more mistakes. Mistakes? What I'm doing now is the right thing, Sarah insisted, her voice filled with madness. I'll make you two suffer humiliation. Kowtow to me. Please let Ella go, you pleaded, kneeling before Sarah, your head bowed in submission. Ha ha! Sarah cackled, her laughter ringing out in the room. Look at him. Look what Daniel is doing. Daniel is kowtowing to me like a dog. Do you see that? Daniel, get up, Chloe cried, her voice filled with despair. Don't belittle yourself. Is it belittling to kneel and kowtow to me? Sarah mocked, her laughter echoing again. Ella, you whispered, your voice barely audible, your eyes fixed on Chloe. A great innuendo, Sarah exclaimed, her voice changing again, a new idea forming in her mind. What are you doing? Sarah asked you, a sinister smile spreading across her face. Go on, it's enough, Chloe pleaded, her voice breaking. Can you release Ella? When did I say to release her? Sarah retorted, her voice laced with cruelty. You said, if I kneeled and kowtowed, you'd let her go, Chloe protested, her voice trembling. Did I? Sarah asked, feigning innocence. Who heard it? You deserve to kowtow to me. You dumped me at our wedding. Shouldn't you kowtow to me? What do you want? You asked, your voice filled with despair. You can humiliate me. Don't hurt Ella. Sarah, make me disappear, you pleaded, your voice barely audible. I'll go with you. Don't humiliate him, Chloe cried, tears streaming down her face. You two are deeply in love. Daniel, the knife was prepared for you, Sarah said, holding out a gleaming knife, her eyes fixed on you. Pick it up. What do you mean? You whispered, your voice trembling. It's easy, Sarah explained, her voice cold and matter-of-fact. As long as you make yourself vanish with this knife, I'll let her go. Sarah, are you crazy? Chloe cried, her voice filled with horror. Don't you love him? I'm going to disappear, Sarah declared, her voice filled with madness. I'll let Daniel go to hell with me. Daniel, stop, Chloe pleaded, her voice breaking. Ella, I can disappear for your safe, you whispered, your voice barely audible. I don't love you anymore. Even if you disappear for me, I won't forgive you, Chloe sobbed, tears streaming down her face. Ella, you whispered again, your voice fading. My fault can only be paid in the next life. Nonsense, Chloe cried, her voice filled with anguish. In the next life, I don't want to meet you. If you disappear, what about Grandma? Grandma's waiting for you. You, the real Ella, can visit her. Ella, all the best. You plunged the knife into your chest, a gasp escaping your lips as pain ripped through you. Daniel! Chloe screamed, her voice filled with horror and despair. Daniel! Daniel! How do you feel? Chloe sobbed, cradling your head in her arms. It's bleeding, you whispered, your voice weak. Do you care about me? Stop talking, Chloe pleaded, tears streaming down her face. I'll call an ambulance. Hold on. Don't save me, you whispered, your voice barely audible. If my disappearance can make you not to hate me anymore, that's enough. Nonsense, Chloe cried, her voice filled with anguish. I won't let you go away. You owe me so much. If you go away, who pays for it? It hurts. You groaned, pain racking your body. It must be hurt more during your liver surgery, Sarah sneered, her voice cold and cruel. Ella, sorry, you whispered again, your voice fading. Stop, Chloe pleaded, her voice breaking. Don't worry. I just avoided the liver. After I've vanished, transfer my liver to you. Ella, don't refuse me this time. I don't need your liver, Chloe sobbed, her voice filled with despair. I want you to live. I deserve it, you whispered, your voice barely audible. Stop talking, Chloe pleaded again, her voice trembling. I'll call an ambulance. Ella! Sarah suddenly screamed, her voice filled with rage and desperation. Go to hell with me! Sarah lunged at you, her eyes filled with madness, grabbing you and pulling you towards her. Daniel! Chloe screamed again, her voice filled with terror. Suddenly, Sarah collapsed, falling to the ground, a knife protruding from her back. Chloe stared at Sarah's lifeless body, her face pale with shock and horror. Why? Chloe whispered, her voice barely audible. Glad you're okay, Miss Smith said to Chloe, her voice calm and matter-of-fact, standing behind Sarah's body, a bloody knife in her hand. Don't, please, Chloe sobbed, her voice breaking. Don't disappear. Ella, he must disappear, Sarah's foster mother insisted, her voice cold and relentless, stepping forward. You won't be together. Sarah, Chloe cried again, her voice filled with anguish. What have I done to you? Why did you do that to us? Why? I can't have him. No one else can. Daniel, don't worry, Chloe whispered, cradling your head in her arms, tears streaming down her face. "I'll be with you. Miss Bolton," Miss Smith said, approaching Chloe, her voice urgent. "Hold her down." "Ella, what do you want to do?" Sarah's foster mother asked, her eyes gleaming with anticipation. "Sarah," Chloe said, her voice cold and devoid of emotion. "Want to disappear?" "No way. You have to live. I'll torture you slowly." "Daniel." "Hold on," Chloe pleaded, her voice breaking. "The doctor's on his way." "I can't hold on," you whispered, your voice fading. "After I disappear, forget me. Forget all this. Live your life and move on." "No," Chloe sobbed, shaking her head frantically. "You can't disappear. If you leave, I'll never forgive you. If you leave, I'll scatter your bone ash and give you no peace." "Impossible," you whispered, your voice barely audible. "Don't fool me. Daniel. Wake up. Daniel." "Ella!" Sarah's foster mother cackled, her laughter echoing through the room. "I said you won't be together. You'll live in pain and despair for the rest of your life." "Sarah!" Chloe screamed, her voice filled with rage and grief. "I'm ready to disappear now," Sarah's foster mother said, her voice cold and defiant. "What else can you do with me? Disappearance is too easy for you." "Guard!" Chloe commanded, her voice shaking with fury. "Hold her down. With all methods, try every cruel punishment in the world on her. Let her have a long-drawn disappearance." "You won't scare me," Sarah's foster mother sneered, her eyes flashing with hatred. "Miss Bolton," Miss Smith said, approaching Chloe, her voice low and menacing. "I heard of a torture in other countries. Tie her up first, then cut some wounds on her where the flies can put eggs on. After a few days, maggots will appear and creep into her body, and she'll be sober, watching maggots bite her slowly." "Great!" Chloe exclaimed, her voice filled with cold fury. "Do what you said." "No!" Chloe suddenly cried, her voice breaking, turning back to you, her eyes filled with love and despair. "Ella, you can't do that. Make me disappear." Sarah's foster mother taunted, her voice mocking. "I said you'll never have it. Take her away and torture her," Chloe commanded her guards, her voice shaking with rage and grief. "Ah!" Sarah's foster mother screamed as she was dragged away. "Ella," you whispered, your voice barely audible. "You evil. You should pray for your early passing away." "Sorry," Chloe sobbed, tears streaming down her face. "Miss Bolton," Ada said, approaching Chloe, her voice gentle. "I'm late." "It's no use saying it," Chloe whispered, her voice hollow. "Daniel passed away, and my revenge has been taken. I should be happy. But why am I so sad?" "Miss Bolton," Ada said again, her voice filled with concern. "Daniel passed away. I'm alone. There is no meaning in living." "No, Miss Bolton," Ada protested, her voice firm. "You're not alone. Mr. Bolton is waiting for you. And your grandma, who raised you, is waiting for you." "You're right," Chloe murmured, her voice regaining a flicker of strength. "Grandparents are waiting for me. I can't vanish." "How's he?" Chloe asked Ada, her voice barely above a whisper, turning back to you. "He passed away," Ada replied, her voice somber. "Call his mum to see him one last time." Suddenly, Ada gasped, her eyes widening in disbelief. "He is alive," Ada exclaimed, her voice filled with shock and excitement. "What?" Chloe whispered, her heart leaping with hope. "He still has heartbeats and is breathing. He's not passed away yet." "What are you doing?" Chloe cried, her voice regaining its urgency. "Save him. Get a stretcher ready. He lost too much blood." He's in critical condition. Call the director to stand by. Daniel, listen, Chloe pleaded, leaning closer to you, her voice trembling with emotion. You can't pass away. I promise I'll forgive you if you live. Get medical devices ready. Okay, the medical staff responded, rushing to prepare for surgery. Doctor, please save him, Chloe pleaded, her voice breaking. Don't worry, the doctor reassured her, his voice calm and professional. Miss Bolton, he'll be fine. Hope so, Chloe murmured, her voice filled with anxiety. Do you really forgive him? Ada asked, her voice hesitant. He risked his life for me, Chloe replied, her voice soft but firm. I should forgive him, but he also made you like this, Ada pointed out, her voice concerned. Don't say that again, Chloe instructed, her voice hardening slightly. I know what I'm doing. Daniel, the doctor says you are out of danger, Chloe said, her voice gentle, sitting by your bedside, watching you sleep. Why don't you wake up? Don't you want to live? With you here, how can I disappear? Your eyes fluttered open, and you looked at Chloe, a faint smile gracing your lips. You're finally awake, Chloe said, her voice filled with relief. I remember you saying that if I'm alive, you'll forgive me, right? You asked, your voice weak but hopeful. That's up to you, Chloe replied, her voice playful but with a hint of seriousness. If you upset me, I'll cut off your liver and your heart. I am ready, you whispered, your eyes fixed on hers, filled with love and remorse.